Habibis, so sorry for the confusion. What a confusion, what a mix-up. Babajis. Internet blackout. Internet blackout. Civilization ended, people. So, have a grace day. Have a grace day. Noon sharp, be here or be a circle. And look at me, I'm doing 10 minutes early. It's not even 10 minutes early, it's actually an hour late. But not even an hour late. We never specified the times for the morning, for the daily rips. So, yeah. Bolt is here. What's up? Share Core. Share, what a darling. Get funky with the music, people. This is a good example of a good message to put for Babaji. This is very good karma, Share. Very good. Keep it up and hit the thumbs up to raise the vibration. Very good karmas. Amish has such an attractive personality, it makes it difficult to tell if he is naturally handsome or if I am just seeing the vibrations. Share, it can be both. So great is God's mystery. It can be both, Share. Both things are possible. It could be a combination of high beauty and high vibration. They can combine. Very often one will add to the other. But how can I know? This is God's game. It is a God's game. But we are here for the morning drip, daily motivationals, 7 days, or I wax that ass. And that's it, people. Why? Because I love the culture so much and I love the community. Because we need to go. Yeah, that's what I figured was going to be the big ripper for this. And listen, it's not only daily rips. It's like every day I'm doing the cold shower. The cold shower is a disciplined builder. And get funky with the music. Roberto Blake is here in the oh my God, double camera Roberto Blake. Roberto Blake is here. We're going to bring him on in 2 seconds. We got lots to talk about today, people. Very exciting show. As you noticed yesterday, Rogers blacked out all of internet for Canada. And still we are having some issues here. This is actually something that we shot as well. Here, I'll show you this real quick. These are the meditations, powerful meditations that are being done behind the scenes. Why? Because, we got to deliver. We got to deliver on the service. I don't think anyone wants to see me wax my ass. I actually started these earlier, these challenges. And when I started them, I got to like 4 or 5 days. And then I was like, you know what? It's not right unless I just daily live stream it. Daily rip. Go on, do the commentary on it. I think it's a big market. I think there's a big loving kindness market out there, big meditation market. And I've been saying for a while, big money in meditation, big bucks. So let's hope that that pans out and we get some meditation. You know what I mean? If you know some meditation influencers, bring them on in. April G is here. Thanks for coming. Share Core. Again, great karmas here. This is very powerful commenting karmas, and make sure the rest of you are doing good karmas like this. Very good, very good. Yvonne Jer, I love how hard you are working. Thank you, Yvonne. That's great. Yvonne Jer says it's not the vibrations. Oh, my looks are only themselves are good. It can be vibrations or it can be my natural beauty. I don't know. I have very smooth skin. For my age, it's not bad. It's not bad. And I don't do much to it. I like to meditate in the bathtub. Yes, Share. That's a good place to do it. I know a lot of people do it. But I'm doing discipline building meditations. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have Roberto Blake on here. On day 4 of the Wax That Ass Daily Live Rips Challenge. I can't believe we made it day 4. Yesterday, as if the Buddha was testing us, all internet blacked out. Like half of Canada's internet out. Just completely out. Because it's Rogers. Because we live in a socialist polygopoly or a duopoly. Only 2 companies. One of them's out. We were all at McDonald's, like just fiends. Everyone at McDonald's getting McDonald's Wi-Fi, like a bunch of fiends. You got to do my work. Everyone's there. McDonald's laptop out. I got a $1 coffee, and I had to sit there for the first bit just to tell everyone it's like it's out. Phone calls even out. It's terrorism. It's terrorism. I'm surprised nobody has said yet that there's some kind of terrorist attack because let me tell you, if this is what Russia's planning, we're fucked. You can't live without it, people. You can't live without it. We need to build these strong online, and that's why I think it's important. We need to build these strong online communities to help each other in these, because there's hard times coming. That's how I don't know. That's why I'm doing all these discipline building meditations, because hard times are coming. We're going into like, everything seems doom and gloom on the news, but just in general, it's like now it's not hard times maybe, but it is creative times. You have to just be disciplined enough to do everything yourself. I don't think there's going to be jobs now. People are saying there's no job. What's a job? You're just going to do your own shit, figure out how to make some money and stuff like that. That's why I think it's so powerful that Roberto Blake is here on the show today. One of the most powerful YouTube gurujis in the community. Let me just show you his channel just to get you excited. Look at that. This is a great live stream. By the way, make sure you buy his book. But this live stream, fantastic. Get more subscribers on YouTube, new features, updates, and channel reviews. This is very powerful karmas. If anyone needs to build a YouTube channel or an online following, which, like I said, the way the world's going, I was like one of those old guys. I remember when I was in high school, there'd be these guys that are like, in this economy, and we were like, this guy's goofy. Like, stop, dude. But now I'm doing it. I'm on. Look at that, 555K subs. That's good luck somewhere. That's gotta be a divine angel number. If anyone knows the code of 555, put it in the comments if you can figure that out. That would be some fantastic karmas. But yeah, make sure you get Roberto's book too. It's called Create Something Awesome. I'm going to show you the link for that page too. You can pre-order it. This man wrote a book. Here it is. Create Something Awesome. What a great title too. Yeah, this is the meaning of life. Create something awesome. You must create something awesome. And he is here with us today to help us create something awesome. Give it up and make some noise for the incredible, YouTube's greatest YouTube Babaji. Please welcome Roberto Blake to the stream, everybody. Roberto, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, Amish? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, dude. Dual cameras.
Right. Yeah. This is a second live streaming setup. I got this one for interviews. This is the kind of thing I was hoping to do in Florida when we hooked up in Florida at Podfest. But then, like they stole like $10,000 worth of my camera gear because I had the good interview gear, 2 cameras, 2 lenses, all the memory cards. But hey, dude, it's all good. Remember what I said? Remember how I took it in stride? It was because I was like, okay, I have insurance. If it's going to happen, okay, maybe it's good that it happened to me because like I have gear at home. I have insurance. If this happens to a small YouTuber, it might cripple or destroy their entire career or demotivate them to the point where they can't. Like,
true.
It's like, so like, and I was
at 555K. You're okay.
Oh yeah,
you'll bounce back.
Yeah. And again, insurance, dude. Insurance, my homie.
Wow. And you learned about and back with a powerful lesson for the community. Get your film equipment insurance.
Dude, it's cheaper than people think. If you're a YouTube content creator, you can't not have insurance, especially if you vlog, you go out in public, you go to event.
Yeah.
Like if you cannot afford to not have some kind of insurance for your gear.
Yeah.
Gear insurance might be the insurance that's not a scam.
That's amazing. Yeah, they actually pay out because gear is actually cheaper now. I feel like 30 years ago.
Well, no, gear is more.
Sorry.
Ironically, gear is more expensive, but here's how the payout works. They know that, and they will compensate you for the cost of replacing the gear today. So whatever today's market prices are, because we got the chip shortage. We still have the supply chain issues. We still have the chip shortage. So what they did was they didn't just compensate me for what I paid for the gear. They compensate me for what I would have to pay to replace it now. And the prices on some of it went up a little bit. So like,
I just feel bad because I brought a boss who he's been on the show a couple of times. I brought him and your gear got stolen while he's talking to you, trying to get YouTube advice.
Yeah. Like, while I'm there helping the community, I'm getting robbed. That was like,
and when you got back on stage, you were nice enough to be like, listen, give it back. I'm not going to get mad at you. Just give it back.
Yeah. Exactly. And like, no, there's not I think the insurance company I have might have an affiliate program. I don't even know. I just want people to get the insurance because, like I said, if it was a small YouTuber and they couldn't replace their gear, they're a working class creator. They are doing this, trying to side hustle, trying to make extra money, on top of their like hours, which is how most YouTubers start out. I mean, I think like Steven was doing gigs, CoffeeZilla. He was doing gigs part-time and like doing gigs as an engineer, chemical engineer, which is what he went to school for, while he was trying to get his original YouTube channel up, Coffee Break. He was doing an education YouTube channel, different than mine, but we were both Yeah, we were both in the education niche. He was, in a way, he was James Johnny before there was James Johnny.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, it's
James Johnny
interesting.
before. Yeah, he was like James Johnny and all these people who are doing it now before that. But he
Like
would
Jake
go on.
Tran.
Yeah, and Jake Tran, but he would do it on camera. He would put his real face out there instead of just the B-roll, which there's nothing wrong with the cinematic B-roll, which is actually really dope. Because yeah, I used to watch his channel before he had the CoffeeZilla channel, and he was at about where I am now. He was at like 500K when he decided to leave that channel behind and start over.
I know. And then when I joined him, he was at 87,000. And I remember just thinking like 87,000 here. It was like 500,000 over there.
Yeah, it's 500,000.
They don't come over.
It doesn't cross. No, you have to start over. It's just like if you change your degree in school, you have to start over. People don't understand that. You can't just change up your content and then expect if you change up the content that the same people are gonna like rock with you. It's just like changing a business, just like changing your major in college. You have to, with YouTube, you have to start over. Not everybody, but like even if you stay on the same channel, you should get the subscriber count out of your head because you just have to basically start over.
Yeah, dude. And like it's a hyper level of honesty, like a hyper level of honesty. I actually just saw this great I think you might have seen this or you'll enjoy it, but this is Schultzy baby on Breaking Points. You watch Breaking Points at all?
Yeah. No, I love Crystal and Sagar. I don't always agree with them, but I love them. Schultz, I love Andrew. Yeah.
Andrew, dude. Schultz. He was on there talking about putting his stuff on, like why he put his stuff on YouTube.
Friend Andrew Schultz, he's taking a big gamble. He's putting his special out to the people, and he's here to talk a little bit about it. So, Andrew, welcome to the show.
I saw this. Yeah.
See you again.
Thank you for having me, my man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. The real question is for you. Pre-orders, you've decided to take this special. You've decided to put it out to the people on your website, theandrewschultz.com. Why don't you tell us the backstory of that, the decision-making? It fits very much, I think, within your major career.
Yeah. So basically, long story short, I had a special that I was going to put out with a streamer, and the streamer wanted to edit some of the jokes, and
crazy. It's crazy. What an inspiration, man. It is inspirational that he puts his stuff out on YouTube and he's like, no, you just put it directly. Don't.
Oh, he's going for it. And he's like, he made comedy great again. It's like, he's going for it because, and he doesn't want to edit. He doesn't want to self-censor. And I agree with that. But I mean, even with all these policy changes, it's hard. Like people don't understand, but that's also, by the way, this is a good point. The Andrew Schultz thing is a good point. I've been explaining to people that the reason that paywall content exists is because everyone has to censor themselves on social media.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Yeah. And it's fake. And like, he's talking in the thing about like, he's like, I do this special in 50 cities. I know it's going to rip. And YouTube is this hyper honest place where like, you can't fake and cut and do anything like that. You have to put the real shit up or else it doesn't work. And it's hard to do.
Inauthentic. Like, I mean, inauthenticity is the kryptonite of you. If you are inauthentic, it's the kryptonite of YouTube.
Yeah, dude.
It's part of what attracted me to YouTube in the first place, like leaving 9-to-5 world. It's in 9-to-5 world. And I did work like an actual like career, not just a job even. I had a career. A lot of people don't understand that. This is why like I'm on the other side where I'm not a fake guru is I actually had like a career and I was an adult when YouTube came along. Like I was already, when YouTube came along, I think it was like 23. When YouTube was invented. When YouTube was invented, I was 23 and I didn't take YouTube seriously or tell anybody anything until I was like 28, 29. You know what I'm saying? So like
I'm part of that generation. Didn't take it seriously at first. And just
exactly
like, oh, it's a little silly thing.
Well, back then it wasn't a big deal. And like, it wasn't what we have today. Like, and YouTube was clunky as hell back then. A lot of people don't know the struggle. YouTube as a website was kind of, it was like kind of sus as a website. It was kind of like not great. Like if kids had to live with the websites of these social media websites, the way that we like back in my day, like if they had to suffer through that and suffer through AOL, they wouldn't be able to handle it, homie. Like they wouldn't be able to handle it. But
those guys made YouTube. Those early YouTubers were they almost like figured it out with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like YouTube and they're two separate things. It's like they worked together on it. And a lot of those early people, they just got screwed. Like they were never paid. I think Philip DeFranco was there from maybe year 3 of YouTube.
Well, the payment program, the partner program didn't exist at first. Because one, like they had to integrate it with the existing ad program. People don't realize AdSense was before YouTube. Programmers were doing it for the beginning of mobile apps and it was publishers and bloggers. And actually, I was making money from AdSense as a blogger before YouTube ever existed.
Wow.
And before I ever started, like, so my first Google check was from my blog around freelancing, like when I was a graphic designer. And the cool thing is with YouTube, in like the end of 2012, they opened monetization to everybody. People don't understand. Like Philip DeFranco didn't get monetized at first. PewDiePie didn't get monetized. He had 30,000 subscribers and he couldn't get monetized. People complain today about having to have 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
PewDiePie had 30,000 because they didn't monetize gaming channels back then. And the reason they didn't monetize gaming channels back then was because they had the copyright disputes. And people don't realize that YouTube got sued. YouTube was bought. YouTube was built in 2005, acquired by Google in 2006, and then sued by Viacom in 2007. And then they were in court. By the way, they were sued for like $1.8 billion.
Oh my God.
And they were bought for 1.6 when everyone thought that was a big number back then for buying a tech company.
Yeah.
And like, can you imagine getting YouTube for the low price of like $1.6 billion right now?
Imagine
we could crowdfund that. We could have crowdfunded.
Yeah.
Like,
imagine you get sued for 1.8. You're like, oh God, what are we gonna do? And then Google comes
and
like,
Google
we'll
just
buy you
sits in
for
court
1.6,
for
like,
7 years. Google just sits in court with Viacom for 7 years. Fun fact: you know how I went to VidCon and VidCon ended up being a super spreader? Like VidCon was bought by Viacom a couple of years ago.
Oh wow, Viacom bought VidCon? Weird. They're really getting in the game, eh? They're like, what do we do? Just buy the
you can't beat them. Can't beat them. Co-opt them. Like, can't beat them. Acquire them.
Can we just pay you to come on? Like, you can't though. It doesn't. I don't think that's gonna work. I think, dude. I was talking to the head of distribution at CBS Canada like 10 years ago.
What was that?
And I'm going in as a comic, trying to pitch a TV show, whatever. And he's just like, Amish, get on YouTube. And I'm like, dude, we all think it's hack. And he goes, yeah, that's what they used to say about HBO. The cream will rise. The cream will rise. And
you know, it's
right.
10 years ago. Jesus, man.
Dude, like back in the day,
that's prime YouTube. That's like prime YouTube in its like glory days, in my opinion. That's like when Freddie Wong is out there crushing it. That's like in the like speaking of
comics in Toronto still don't respect it. It's weird.
That's
Tim
ridiculous.
Dillon talks about this. Comics in Toronto and New York, I feel like don't respect it. But then in LA, comics are like, hey, let's do a podcast. What's that? Old farts. They're such old farts,
old
man.
farts.
They're so
like, dude,
weird, purist, broke, like so broke.
Do you remember, speaking of comedians like Andrew Schultz, do you remember Kane Carter, Hot Damn I Rock from back in the day?
Oh no, that sounds amazing though.
Like, yeah, like if you search for him, Hot Damn I Rock, he used to, like, back when you could do it, like 10 years ago, most offensive but funny humor in the world and everything like that. It's like, he was one of my favorite Hot Damn I Rock. He was one of my favorite black YouTubers back in the day. He was doing this whole comedy thing. It was hilarious. And he would also do skits sometimes. It's like, this guy was hilarious. But he was also, again, he was like about what you would expect from somebody in the Apollo Theater and everything like that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but today,
like he came and left. I don't see him. Hey, hot damn I rock.
Yeah, type it. Yeah, hot damn I rock. All is one word. Type it in. All is one word. No spaces.
Oh, there it is. Bread. It's crazy how many people like
he was big back in the day because like he stagnated. He hasn't been growing in years because like there was like a point where he disappeared. He had a mental breakdown. But back in the day, he was killing it. Look at the views from back in the day. If you go to most popular videos,
850K subs.
Yeah, but scroll down to where you saw what his most popular videos were. Like there was a thing that said most popular videos back in the day. Oh, scroll. You were just past it. Right there. Yeah. Look at those views, man. And this was back. Million. Yeah, and this was back in the day when like people were not pulling views like this, dude. Like back in the day, people were not pulling views like this, and this man was pulling views. But all this stuff from 10, 12 years ago would not fly today. He'd be for this same stuff, he'd be canceled today. He's not pulling views like this.
Great thumbnail. I mean, this thumbnail, like it kind of works, right? Like as a modern thumbnail, you know, you've done live streams on making good thumbnails. Yeah, it's almost like an instinct. Like this thumbnail just conveys, and it's something that I have a hard time doing well enough where I just, you got to go so extreme with it. It's like, what happened? Give me the butt cheeks. It's like, it tells like a weird
facial expressions are the sauce for like the thumbnails. Facial expressions, body language, and props. Facial expressions, like body language,
like this bottom bitch theory. Bottom bitch theory. I do that.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I love back in the day. And yeah, and this is back in the day, dude. This is like, so again, he was like
Yeah.
prime. He was ahead of his curve. He was ahead of the curve back then. He was like so on it. We all thought he was gonna blow up, but then he quit because he had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, no, this happens to so much YouTube, man. It's like a new genre on YouTube is like YouTube burned out people. Like, just like, where are they now? It's like there's like been 4 generations of famous YouTube people.
The stories I could tell you.
Yeah, I know, right? They're crazy.
Like, I won't name names. There was like somebody, I think they're like now they're almost at like 10 million subscribers. I remember being at a VidCon and like we were talking, and essentially at the time, I think this person had like 5 million and they're at like almost 10 million now, or whatever. Entertainment YouTuber and everything, mad successful. And it's like, I remember basically we were sitting there and we were talking about like how depressed he was and like how he feels like he can't get off the treadmill and how this entire thing has consumed his life. And we were literally like crying into the drinks. And it's like, it's serious. It's serious.
It's an
like,
issue, man.
But you would never, but the thing is, but he said, I can't even share this with my audience because there will be no sympathy for the level of success I have is completely unrelatable. And that's not even what they signed up for. And he like felt like he couldn't even come clean with his audience and talk about how miserable he is and how depressed he is and about going to therapy because he felt there would be, this is a couple of years ago, by the way, now it might be different, but like,
is he brown, black?
I'm not gonna name.
Oh no, you're not gonna say because I know so many brown people, they won't admit that they're depressed, dude.
Oh,
like,
dude,
they're just talking about like no, I have a gut issue and it makes me tired, and then I want to kill myself for 2 hours. And I'm like, just get a therapist, dude.
I think people
50 pills.
Well, you have to change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Everything's different for everybody. Yeah, I think therapy is great if people go to therapy. Therapy helped me, but like I think that people have to make lifestyle changes, dude. I think I think that's the biggest thing, right? And I think it's hard, but also I think, dude, I think that, and there are scams out there, but I think self-help gets a bad rap because I think that most people today in modern and in the so-called post-modern world, I think most people actually do need common sense is not common practice. So I think when people say, oh, all this self-help stuff is just monetizing good old common sense, it's like, well, who's raising people anymore? So you say it's common sense. Is it common anymore? Or was it common for you? Like
people are thirsty for the knowledge, brother. I'm doing cult rehab here. We're doing cult rehab on Sundays. Tomorrow we have Chris Shelton on. Actually, he was a Scientologist. Dude, the cult, like, people are thirsty for it. They want to join up. So it really shows that
the cult stuff is dangerous. I don't like that. That's why I'd rather someone just read. That's why I'd rather someone just read a book or watch a David Goggins video or something. I would rather people read a book, go to therapy, watch a David Goggins video or something like that. Watch Jocko Willink or something. I would rather
100%.
people do that than get radicalized, than join a cult or get radicalized in some group think.
But most of the cult training is like, hey, we teach you how to live your life. Like that's what I mean by like, there's a thirst in the culture because people are like, first of all, self-help, $1 billion industry. So the idea that we're just going to write it all off as bullshit, it's ridiculous. And I think it's preferable to the pharmaceutical, literally just pumping everyone with drugs. I don't like that people say it's irresponsible to say this too. People do say that where it's like you are responsible for your experience. So you got to try shit until something works for you. But a lot of people in the call, like the last 10 years, I'd say people are very like, no, therapy, only do therapy, only listen to a doctor. Maybe. I know a lot of people that went down that road and then they're on like some medication that's like they're addicted to 10 years later, they're not happy with it because like you do have to take some responsibility. And I feel like, the self-help scene does that. There's no way to regulate it though. That's
can we bring up what Cher has to say? Because I think this is interesting and I want your point of view on this.
Sick.
I think it depends on a lot of things. Like no one should charge $5,000 for a 1-hour lecture. Here's where I disagree. That's who are they charging for that? Who are they charging for that? Because that's not for normal people. That's not for regular people.
Right. That's like a
$5,000.
CEO. That's a CEO.
$5,000 is worthwhile and disposable for somebody that's very wealthy. Like these YouTubers I talk to. I'm talking about people whose net worth is 2 million to 10 million. Okay, these people. They're 2 million to 10 million net worth as YouTubers, over 1 million subscribers, some of them over 10 million subscribers. Do you think that there's at a reasonable price, who is going to be reasonably priced that they can relate to and can make them a priority and can deal with the level and magnitude of their problems and specialize in what they're doing.
Yeah,
like,
you call it consulting. It's
right.
not that different.
So
it's a
for them,
consulting
if they go to like a specialized event or something like that, the amount of money that they're paying represents out of their yearly income less than 1% of their yearly income. So there are concierge and specialty services for people at a higher level that specialize in what they do. It's because they're a unique and small niche. They're a niche market. Everything like caters to a price.
The thing that Spencer Cornelia says when looking at like the morality of like, is someone a fake?
Oh yeah, me and him talked about this. Yeah,
they're basically not qualifying the customers, so they're taking 5,000 from like a guy who's making 20,000 a year, and
that makes no damn sense.
That makes no sense.
No, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Charge a millionaire, but charge a millionaire somebody that's in like mid six figures. Yeah,
it's a millionaire. Take the money.
But no, it's not just that. It's that they're playing for higher stakes. It holds someone accountable. If you don't, if someone who's playing for high stakes has to pay higher dollars, because that's the only way they can hold someone accountable. That's the only way they can hold someone accountable. A good example of that is like a good example of that. What's come on, Roberto.
Bolt needs to have respect. Bolt, you need to learn respect, Bolt. You say son here?
Okay, so if someone conflates price with quality, how is that different than them conflating beauty with quality too, or beauty with being a good person, or being a nice person, or being a high value person? So that's superficial. Are we not responsible for our own superficial preconceived notions? Are we not responsible and accountable for the consequences of the fact that we make a choice to judge a book by its cover when we deal with people, or judge quality by price? Where's our individual? I'm not saying people aren't taking advantage of it. I think it's disgusting. And we've talked about it and we've called out people. That's why I've been hanging with like Amish. And that's why I'm down with Stephen and Spencer. And because I think it's disgusting. I've called out some of these YouTube hackers and Bitcoin scams and phishing email scams. I've been anti-scam for a long time. My point, though, is I don't like us living in a society where no one has any individual responsibility or accountability for themselves. And I don't like that people use their hardship as an excuse for not doing their part when it comes to protecting themselves. Just like how, again, I take some responsibility for being overly trusting when I was at that event. Do I deserve to get robbed? No. But I also take some responsibility for like, hey, I should keep an absolute eye like a hawk on my gear if I'm going to bring expensive gear to an event. Maybe I should have, even when I'm not at the airport, maybe I should have a lock on my bags. And I hedge that lack of responsibility on my part with, well, at least I'm responsible enough to pay for insurance.
You got the insurance, and the insurance paid it off. That's amazing.
What I believe that in a society, we have to take individual responsibility, and we have to do consumer protections, and we also have to be good citizens and not take advantage of other people. But we also have to remember and be realistic that there is a world where criminals exist. And if you are going to live in a world where criminals exist, you have a responsibility to yourself to take every precaution you can. Lock your doors, have an alarm, be aware, don't be aloof. You have to, and I'm not saying if something bad happens, it's your fault. I'm saying that where things are preventable, and we largely will not admit how many things are preventable and how we can take responsibility.
We do got to take responsibility.
Allergic reaction to it today. 2022, allergic reaction to any type of responsibility.
I know, you can't say it. You can't say it. Especially with mental health issues, and especially with any education that's not like, I went to university education. I went to like an accredited university. Education and I find medicine are two things, because there are so many
we conflate price with quality when it comes to a university education, and that's not true, but no one can criticize that, or they're a fake guru. If I sit here and I say there's a horrible investment for the average American, for the results that have been produced, for the inflated price, and for the inflated price, by the way, that the government benefited from on the back end of those student loans and the interest rates.
Dude.
Why did the government never cap the interest rates on student loans? Because they get a cut from that. Why did they never do that? Because also they want to be able to politically leverage a problem that they created. The same way they helped create the same problem with the mortgage crisis back in my day, back in like 2008 through 2010. It was government negligence and the Fed that created the housing crisis that devastated Americans. They did the same thing with subsidizing student loans and not doing it responsibly, where if you wanted to help people, you would have capped the interest rate. Or even now, you could cancel the interest rate, let people pay what they owe and be responsible. But you can't say the banks haven't profited enough. They're the real exploiters in all this, is the Fed and the banks and the federal government. But you can't sit there and criticize the value of a college education, or you're a damn fake guru. But the college education system is wildly overpriced. The loan system is wildly exploitative, and there's no accountability for it, because you get called out for it, holding that accountable.
And we're going into a market where I never thought as a brown guy, I was thoroughly brainwashed to be like, you have to go to university, you have to get an engineering degree. Like, I have an aerospace engineering degree. It's fully brainwashed in. It's taken me like 15, 20 years to look at this market and to have life experience to say, like, maybe better to just get at it. You know, like, I don't know, 4 years of like a philosophy degree. I don't know. Unless you're going to go all the way with it and become like the writer or whatever, maybe you should just think about what you want to do and just get into that. You know, like, I don't know if the history degrees and stuff, or like if you're into history, I mean, just it's a lot of YouTube. Maybe the world's changed. You know, like when they made these programs, they had the books that you had to go to them and read.
Well, you wouldn't read even 10% of that book, but you're a grifter if someone doesn't take on their own, choose to not take 20% of a course. You're a grifter and everything. Read the comments right now. Oh, you're a grifter if you don't. But the college makes you buy a book for $400 that the professor won't even make you use 10% of, and the professor wrote the book.
Yeah. See, shared courses. If I was a kid, I would go to trade school. That's
very true now. Yes. Thank you. If you're a doctor, go to college and go to a good school. But you could also go to a state school. And what they should do is they should actually do loan forgiveness for anybody that's a doctor, a nurse, an EMT, a firefighter, and a police officer. Anybody that's in the public sector that's providing. Every single one of them should absolutely get loan forgiveness. Engineers, you could do loan forgiveness for, but not subsidizing these liberal arts degrees. I don't agree with that. I agree with subsidizing the degrees of the people who benefit society directly, provide for our infrastructure, provide emergency services, provide healthcare services, teachers, those people, absolutely. STEM field, we need more of that. We have a lack of engineers. And then trade schools, electricians. Everybody should be able to go to a trade school for free in a Western country. Everybody in a Western country should be able to go to a trade school for free.
Trade school pays for itself, though. That's how, like, it's so good that you don't have to. It actually is so pure whatever work, that it never got corrupted by all this shit.
No, it didn't. Like, yeah, exactly. That's why I love. I mean, like, I'm good friends with Roger Wakefield, who's been on the show before. Like, Roger is a primary example, but then also on top of that, Roger supplemented his education online, went to conferences, went to events, and learned how to become a content creator on top of being a tradesperson, a plumber. And now he's not just Roger, the expert plumber. Now he's an advocate for trade schools. Now he's an advocate. Yeah. And for blue collar jobs. Do you realize how many blue collar millionaires there are in America? People think that everybody in America is a finance thing or a fake guru thing or a stock trader and everything like that. I'm here in Georgia. A lot of these people came up and they apprenticed themselves. And then they ended up owning a company doing trades. And now they're in charge of the company. They're in charge of the lawn care company. They're in charge of the HVAC company. And they're blue collar millionaires who own their home.
So much of my family, man. The trades, like, basically what happened, I guess, in the 80s is that we shipped out, every production job was shipped out to China. So the
80s and 90s.
Every like labor job, but then paving the roads, building a house, you can't ship that to China. Someone has to be here to do it.
Yeah,
and we absolutely need it. So they have us by the balls now. They're willing to do labor, and the rest of
we need to have independence again over like these things. We need good infrastructure. We need energy independence. We need agriculture. What about also subsidize the farmers and people who do 4-H, because we don't have the food crisis is coming. The food crisis is coming. They're not subsidized enough. Like, especially if you look at the agriculture stuff in Georgia, it's actually pretty messed up. Like, it's caused some problems, everything like that. That's why quality of food a lot of times is down. It's great for a lot of these companies that are manufacturing these bioengineered foods, which are proving to have healthcare ramifications, which ends up being great for like pharma. Like Steven's talked about this. Steven's gone on a rant about this before. like you and I have talked about it, and it's a mess,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's nuanced too, because there are good things that come out of pharma. They're doing great advancements with the new diabetes drug, which really affects my family. My family has a history of diabetes.
Oh, really? Eh? They
Yeah.
got a new one? Because, dude, metformin.
Metformin. I'm convinced that metformin helped kill my grandmother.
Dude, I was at my cousin, he has diabetes now.
Yeah.
He's like, metformin, best decision I ever made. I got energy all day. And he's telling me, and behind him, all the old Indian, because Indian people, same shit. Everyone has diabetes. They're all behind him saying, no,
massive organ failure. No, over a long period of time of
like
use,
poison.
massive organ failure. I'm convinced that this is what helped kill my grandmother. And then there was a recall on it because of the carcinogens. There was a recall because it was causing some people cancer. And we don't know. We still don't know. And there'll be no accountability for when did they know, and then when did they issue the recall, and how many people suffered. Because there are things we absolutely need to regulate for consumer protections. There's not enough people who call it out. There's not enough that's done about it. It's this real massive problem, and it's the most devastating thing in people's lives is people don't realize how expensive chronic illness is. And between the upcoming food shortage, the current recession, the job things, and that it actually also affects your ability to work and your work performance, and it causes these other things. It makes you more vulnerable to things like blindness, low circulation, amputation. It does all these things. Massive weight gain. It's not always diet. Sometimes it's diabetes. Sometimes it causes the weight gain and the problems. People blame people for the disease. People blame, and there are aspects of where lifestyle can trigger it, but most of it's genetics at this point. And those genetics are also being affected by. A lot of it is, and it's also stress. It's also stress. People who have chronic stress because they're 9-to-5 workers are much more susceptible to diabetes and much more susceptible to heart disease.
Damn, dude. So my meditations are making the diabetes go away, I think.
Oh,
that's what they all teach.
I mean,
I think cold showers and shit. They're like, oh, it's the.
Do you know that like heart disease and heart attacks still top killers in America? Top killers in America. Still top. And what do you think induces that? And it's coming younger and younger. We've seen people that are like in their 50s having these heart attacks.
Honestly, food is killing us, and it is a kind of a scam that these food companies, and there's actually a whole book about it, how like the tobacco companies, all of their lawyers jumped over to the food companies. Like in the 80s, the government got a lot of wins against the tobacco companies. Basically told them like, you got to put warnings on. We're going to tax the shit out of it. We're going to put advertisements saying you're killing everyone. Apparently those lawyers, they saw the food industry. They're like, we're coming to you guys next, and started defending them in advance. So all these regulations that we were supposed to get for food, they never really panned out because those guys in advance, they're like started lobbying. Do you
know that there are laws that stop you? There are laws on the books that stop you from getting seeds you want and planting your own food. Literally here in the land of freedom. In the land of freedom, you literally have laws that actually prevent you from getting seeds you want and planting your own food.
Monsanto is this big seed? Big Monsanto? Monsanto's vicious, eh?
They are.
I've heard some bad stuff.
I don't think people think that we are at the mercy of all these quote unquote technocrat oligarchs. And I think the real thing that they should be looking at is they should actually be looking at energy, food, water, pharma. And if you really want to know who the masters of the universe are, just remember, you can technically live without tech. What can't you live without? Food. That's who the masters of the universe. Food, water, water, energy, and now these life-saving medications and these crippling illnesses. You need the healthcare. So if you really want to know who the masters of the universe are, you look at that. You look at that. Not tech, not social media. You want to know who the masters of the universe are? You look at that.
Yeah, dude, the big money that we're going into hard time. That's why it's so good that people start doing. That's why I started doing these meditation challenges. Yeah, the freezing cold water. You have to stay in until it's not suffering anymore. It becomes joyful. And it makes me work all day. It's actually really good for like you do it and then you just do your work because on some level you don't feel as it's like it does something inside of you. But we are going into some unsure times. It definitely I see that, and like these prices are going to go up. Yeah, man.
So
share. So that's a good question from Cher though, because you do teach artists how to make money on YouTube, basically, right?
Yeah.
And so she's saying, what about art school?
Yeah. So the thing about art school is that if you want to do art as a career and make money, you have to question whether or not you're suited for art school, because that's a big problem. And that's why my issue is not with college in and of itself. One, that my issue is price and with debt. You know that. It's price and debt. But it's also whether or not you want to talk about, because again, going to Spencer's argument, my argument is the same as Spencer's. Why do we not force a standard of qualifying people for college that the same way we should have a standard of qualifying people to buy online products and online courses? We don't qualify. There's too much money. We don't. So my issue with college is they don't qualify people and they don't do anything to say whether college is right or wrong for you. But to be fair,
it's like a sales. It is a grift. It's like salesy.
Right. But to be fair, I also don't necessarily trust them to do that without discriminating against people.
Right. Yeah.
Meaning, if we test or do a diagnostic for you to figure out whether or not college is right for you, and then we give you that advice, oh, well, they could socially engineer that to the outcomes that they want too. So you have to be careful with that. You know who does a great job of talking about things like this and about like this? He focuses more on like workplace versions of this.
Yeah.
Joshua Fluke.
Yeah.
He's
like a labor rights activist, you could say.
Yeah.
He's doing some independent.
Yeah, and I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree, but I love his mission. I love the way he goes about it. And his YouTube execution has been great. I'm worried about him burning out, though. I am worried about him burning out.
Honestly, dude, he's worried about him burning out. He actually puts up videos every now and then saying, like, I think I'm burning out.
I'm desperately concerned with his mental health. I also, I had this conversation with like you and Steven, though, about the like, okay, how much negativity can you be exposed to in the course of your job and being online as a job and still be healthy? But going back to Cher's thing about art school.
Yeah.
I think artists have to, because I don't trust the system to do it, artists have to have a better rubric to decide whether college is right for them. Because if you're an artist, you already intrinsically might not like structure in some ways, even though you might benefit from it. And you might not like being told what to do. And you may not like deadlines. And the thing is, you could use and benefit from the experience. So I think if nothing else, every artist should go at least to community college, in my opinion, even part-time, and get the experience and learn some of the value and benefit of structure and instruction, or to pick up a specialization that they can monetize. Because why do we go to college? Because my problem and my argument with like somebody like Bolt in the comments is he's not actually addressing my issue. He's just pulling the whole, he's pulling, I think, and maybe I'm being not being fair, but in my opinion, he's not addressing anything I'm actually saying or the validity of the things I'm saying.
No,
he's still going with the expensive course from a grifter instead. Okay, what about an expensive course from someone who's not a grifter if you can afford it? And what about qualifying whether someone is a grifter? Not everyone who sells a course is a grifter, because again, not even every college is a scam. It's about, because again, we advocate for community college and we advocate for trade schools and we advocate for non-scam schools. And we're mostly against the predatory lending and the way the government irresponsibly handled the interest rates on predatory lending. It
almost seems like healthcare in that sense. It almost seems like
I agree.
Government ruined education in America more than, and it is set up.
If you look at the peak of education in America producing results, it was before the subsidies of the government student loans. In the same way that homeownership was then also went to the moon and became a problem when the government started backing unqualified toxic mortgages and the exploitative thing that happened with Bear Stearns and with Michael Nierenberg. And then he was allowed, by the way, to go from the mortgage desk of Bear Stearns to JP Morgan to Bank of America and still stay in his industry. He's allowed to literally destroy the lives of Americans and still keep a career and everything like that. But someone gets canceled on the internet for making an offensive joke and loses their livelihood. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, man.
That's ridiculous, right? So my thing is for people who can afford it, they buy expensive things the same way they buy Gucci bags and nobody complains. Or I don't think everyone should complain. Do I think most people should buy these online courses? Most people can't afford them. So I think they're disqualified. Spencer agrees with that. And Spencer knows that because Spencer once upon a time was in a course related business, right? Once upon a time. And he's not against even the idea of doing like a real estate course, but he'd rather do a cohort, which is more like almost a virtual in-classroom experience. Last time I talked to him. But so I think things like that are great. I like what Ali Abdal is doing. It's a virtual in-person type deal. I like that. He's
actually talking to you. And
I like that. I like a virtual classroom experience. And the thing is, we can't sit there and call that a scam when during the pandemic,
universities were all Zoom.
Universities who every university that decried online learning
This podcast
This-
resume.
Yeah, and they did it at lower quality than you do. Like they did it like these
Oh,
universities made people pay for a lesser live stream experience than you provide, than Steven provides, than I provide, and they didn't lower the price at all. So like they had to come on board. So that's how it's really weird.
Yeah,
That's really weird.
It almost seems like after like these 2-3 years of doing scam rehab, cult rehab, seeing Spencer's videos, talking to you, Steven.
Well, I would buy any if I wanted to go into real estate, I would buy a course from Spencer Cornelia, because Spencer Cornelia has proven his integrity. He has the results to back it up, and he's shown it. And so if I wanted to go into the real estate market, and whatever, and if I could afford it, and if I'm going into real estate, I'm already playing high stakes, and I already should have money. It's not for broke boys. It's not for broke boys. So who would I buy a course from? The day that I want to, and I might go into real estate in the future because that's like what one does and everything. You're a Patel, you know.
We know we are
like
we are in the real estate business.
That's as one does, right? As one does. I would buy a course from Spencer Cornelia. If Steven sold a course on virtual production, his virtual production is the best in YouTube, I would buy a course from Steven Coffeezilla on virtual production tomorrow if he sold it, because he's the best in virtual production. His lighting is always on point. He understands the green screen and the hardware and software aspects of it, and he's proven that by making hundreds of videos demonstrating his ability. So who would I buy an expensive course from? Steven sells a $2,000, which he won't. But if he does it, or if he puts on Skillshare, I would buy a virtual production course. Or if he did an event where he taught you in person how to do virtual production, I would buy a course from Coffeezilla tomorrow on virtual production, because he's proven that he can produce the best videos on YouTube.
100%. If you went to university class for like virtual production, oh God, it would be like 10 years old. I don't think they have digital cameras.
I don't
believe. You wouldn't know how to do StreamYard.
No, I don't believe there's a college course where I can learn more about virtual production than I can learn it from Steven. I don't believe that there is. If there was, that'd be great. But I also think they'll charge me more. And like, so I would go that route. And so I don't think that I can learn as much from somebody. If I wanted to learn business, I wouldn't learn from a college professor who's never built a 6 or 7 figure business and never built an online business. I would want to learn from somebody like Chris Ducker or Pat Flynn. I'd want to learn from Chris Ducker or Pat Flynn. I'd want to learn from Chris Ducker or Pat Flynn. And so that's who I would go to.
Yeah, you really got to think for yourself now. The world is not what it used to be. I remember I used to be able to just say, no, but a university education is an education, and you're being... If I wanted to learn about comedy and writing, I would go and I would ask you. You've pitched I don't know how to pitch I don't even know how to get in the room with someone from CBS. You do. Yeah. And
so why wouldn't I go to you? Why wouldn't I pay you for your time? Or why wouldn't I like do that? So again, so like, Bolt, no offense to you and everything, but I think that you just are, if you're just anti-courses, online courses exist, don't ever buy one. Don't ever buy one, and you don't have to advocate for one. But to suggest that all of them are a scam and all of them, and that there's nobody who can sell their expertise, there are scams out there, and there are people who are exploited. There are people exploited. We've called them out. Same with medical. They're scammy. Like, look at this OxyContin crisis, dude. It's actually the Sackler family sold OxyContin to America, and they got away with it. And people are still going to be like, "Oh, I don't trust. I trust." What about Scarelli with the freaking like? Yeah, he's crazy, dude. There's nobody. You know what? If I could fight anybody in the ring, if I could be a YouTube boxer, the only person I really want to fight is Scarelli. I want to fight that dude. That's the only dude I actually want to fight. Would you go boxing? For that one, I would try. Like, I was in martial arts, dude. I was in martial arts. Sick. I would train. I'm still not in bad shape, dude. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. I could just and the thing is, I could just work out. If it's that, it's for a good cause. It's the greatest cause on earth. If I could box the farmer bro, it's the greatest cause in the world. I will train like a beast. I will hire a personal trainer. Dude, I will go millions. I will become a monster. I will become a monster for that fight. Like people will pay millions to see. And we could donate it all to charity. And we would donate it all to charity because that's the YouTube game, eh? The YouTube game now. I love how YouTubers are now in the ring, dude. That's wild. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go to a fight. No, I'm actually probably going to go if it's in the States. If it's in the States, I'll go to the Alex. If I'm not doing anything that week, I will go to the Alex Wasabi KSI fight. I will absolutely, if it's in the States and I'm not doing an event, I will go to the Alex Wasabi KSI fight. I will pay money. I do not care. I will go to that fight. It will be the most entertaining thing in the world. It will be. KSI is my favorite YouTuber actually right now. Right
He's the
now, he's
best.
my favorite.
He's the
He's my
king.
favorite YouTuber. He's the king. But going back to the art school thing, the thing about art school is I think that someone has to qualify whether art school is right for them based on their temperament, their personality, and their finances. In general, those are always the qualifiers. But for artists in particular, you have to ask yourself, what is my goal? Is my goal to become a better artist? And I'm willing to invest in that no matter what. And even if I'm not trying to monetize it. And if you find an art school that you like that specializes in the thing you do, I think it's a great investment if your goal is I want to become the greatest artist or photographer or painter or animator that I possibly can be, then absolutely, I think that it can be a benefit. I also think artists struggle a lot of times with relating to their family and at home. So sometimes going to art school isn't even about the outcome of monetizing, getting a career, or even just the improvement. Sometimes it's actually just the benefits of being around other artists, other people who accept you, other people who relate to you, other people that you can vibe with, and the mental health aspects of that. Sometimes even going to college, honestly. One of my other things for going to college is I'm fine with it if it literally gets you out of a bad environment. If it gets you out of a bad environment, that's one of my qualifiers is if it gets you out of a bad environment. Because for some people, going to college will save their life because they get out of a toxic home or a bad neighborhood or a bad community or a terrible country.
It was almost like an extension of high school at our generation. At our generation, college was just an extension of high school. Some people went into things that were like going to pay money, but then people who went and got arts degrees, they weren't even expecting to make money. They were like, oh, I finished that. What do I do now? We almost treated it like another high school. It was just another way of not joining the real world. But now I think it might be better to join it.
In some cases, the main thing is you have to really, this is my thing about my problem I have is one size fits all solutions. That's my other thing. And also unrealistic expectations and promises. That's my beef with the fake gurus, by the way, is largely unrealistic expectations, number one, or two, when they fake their credibility or their numbers. Or three. Oh, thank you for that share. I try. I try to stay healthy. Like people don't realize I'm 38. Me and Amish are like in that same age bracket, but we looking good. We looking young. We looking healthy.
Good, baby. We look good.
Looking good. Cher was on point. It's like you're looking very handsome, my friend. The drip. You got the real drip. You got the Goku drip. That's the real drip, dude. You got the real drip, right? So it's like we out here. But
we out here. Yeah. But you got the dollars behind you. You got the money, the $100 bill. That's great. That's a
Big Ben.
Oh,
Big Ben.
Big Ben is there.
Big Ben. With me in spirit, right? It's like my spirit animal. Benjamin Franklin actually could be a good spirit animal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he would
be
great.
But dude, my thing is, I don't like the fake marketing around college and how their statistics of job placement are inflated. I think that the debt is a problem. We have an almost $2 trillion student loan problem now. We have an almost $2 trillion. That's insane.
Biden was supposed to forgive it. How do you forgive $2 trillion though? It's a lot of money.
No, but I don't want to. Well, how do you do it? Okay, so my answer to it is this. Like I said, everybody who went into STEM and everyone who went into emergency services, your police, your firefighters, everyone who served in the military, everybody who's a first line responder, everybody who does
military pays for it. I think military
not
pays for
always. And again, I say forgiveness for anyone who went to the military after the fact too, because they don't do that. So I think you should do that if you served, and we can put some stipulations on it. But I think that emergency workers, EMTs, firefighters, nurses, anyone who went into STEM, and all those people. Because then, by the way, by setting qualifiers for loan forgiveness, we are incentivizing thoughtfulness about your life track and your life career, and we're incentivizing a life of service for things that benefit the country, which is a really good idea in general. They should have always done that. Also, you should give anyone who did 4 year, everyone who got a 4.0 in high school should get a free ride. Do you realize what that would do and how that would transform, especially minorities and people in rural communities? Everybody's parents would really
all Asian. It becomes all.
Everybody's parents. No, everybody's parents will be on them. Everyone's parents will be on them to get good grades, to get a free ride and loan forgiveness in college. And you have to maintain grades. You don't have to maintain a 4.0, but you have to maintain grades. So like we'd have discipline
America
again.
has that because Canada has it.
We don't. There's only some places in America like Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo does that. But like, there's only some place. I think it should be nationwide.
It's so sad because it seems like just mismanagement and like I don't even know if we like. I think America, just like with the healthcare, I think it could be it's just getting wasted in just people being corrupt and people
it's massively the corruption.
Yeah, it's a corruption. And then what do you think of this? Because and we should.
By the way, Cap, I can go longer if you can, and I'm happy to.
Oh, no worries, man. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I do want to show you
Cap
a
the
clip
interest
from
rates.
Daily Wire. What's that?
Okay, yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, do you think though, as and maybe this is my left-wing perspective, my Canadian socialist perspective, it
Well,
seems
you guys
almost
don't
like
have
there's
real socialism, so I'm not worried about it. You
we
guys
don't have no. But
You know, we don't have
we're-
real capitalism. Y'all don't have real socialism. Let's figure it out.
We're just a vassal state of the American empire. Okay, so we do what they tell us.
I would love for us to have an American empire. To be honest, it sounds amazing.
You don't think so? You don't think dude, Canada has to listen to America. Like Canada, if
Do
America's oh yeah, dude. That's why we get free military. Like that's basically the trade-off, I feel like, is that you get free military, but
Can you
have
imagine
to do it, you have to do what Daddy says.
Can you imagine if there was like a unified empire between Canada, America, South America, Central America? We'd be unstoppable.
It would be unstoppable. Right now, I think America's empire, quote unquote, is obviously Western Europe. Like if you just look at how politically they're active with Russia, like
interesting.
You guys all like they give them money, like military spending, all this shit.
Or $40 billion that Americans like they're struggling right now are like, what about me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they're making a quad in the around India, US, I don't know if UN's in it, but like Australia and Japan. There's like 4, the quad they call it. So yeah. I feel like that's how they kind of put it out there. But what I was going to say about like the university issue and also the healthcare issue, it seems to me like in America, the right-wing people are so strong and they're so powerful that they almost have this mentality of like government doesn't do anything right. So they ruin it. And then they say, see, I told you government can't do it. Like it seems to be like that with healthcare. Like I don't even know if it's straight up corruption.
It is mostly corruption, but it's also incompetence. It's a combination of a lack of competence and an abundance of. No, I don't think it's purposeful. I really just genuinely think people are stupid. Like, because think about it. What qualifications do any of these people elected to office in America really have to make decisions over? What expertise and authority do they really have over the things that they're making laws about? They know nothing about it. They know nothing about the internet and they want to regulate that. They have nothing about technology. They want to regulate that. They have no background. Why not listen to engineers and scientists? And why not listen to people?
That's what I mean.
So we don't have
healthcare in America, right? Like when
we need a science council. You need a science council.
You need a science council because China's killing America because they have all engineers running their shit.
Yes,
America has only lawyers.
Well, this
lawyers
is why
are fucking assholes, dude. They bend shit to just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yes,
they don't have any real creative like that kind of capacity. They're.
I believe the future. I believe the 22nd century belongs to the East. Even the undeveloped nations now will be the new developed nations. I believe it belongs to
India,
the East.
China.
I genuinely believe the future belongs to the East. Not only the commoditization and the monopoly on rare earths is going to guarantee that, but also the focus on AI. Focus on AI is a big deal. The focus on AI is a massive deal. The engineering, the STEM, America does not focus on that. Not to mention, again, those countries, they're more independent in terms of energy and agriculture than America is.
Yes.
So
and you can see
that
with
matters.
Biden, and
they also care about education more. They care about
so much more about education. And you can see with like, just speaking about this, if there was an American military, American empire, right now, the way that they're defying Joe Biden, they've never, it's historically like never been done before. Like the way that the Saudis and the Chinese government and the Russian government are all like, fuck you, dude, you're done. We're gonna be number one now. The future is the East. They don't give a shit, dude.
It's so disappointing, actually.
No respect.
It's so disappointing. To be honest, it's so disappointing. And I'm not here, oh yay, Trump or nothing like that. It's like, no, I feel like we haven't had competent. I don't think we've had competent governance in my entire lifetime. That's what I believe.
But Trump would have kept Russia in line, dude.
I think because he's a bulldog, maybe because he's a bulldog and because I wouldn't play chicken
conservative.
With him. Well, I would no, he's not. He's not. He's the fakest conservative there's ever been.
I'm talking about in a conservative party, like in Toronto, right? We have conservative mayors and we have these liberal mayors, right? The last time we had a liberal mayor, the garbage people went on strike 3 times because they know he's soft.
And that's the thing.
Then they got a conservative come in, say, I don't give a fuck about you. You don't better not step out.
No, we need something. We need something. We need a moderate. We need a moderate who can be an adult and is not beholden to corrupt corporate interest and special interest in the private sector in that way, but instead cooperates with them rather than also being a liberal that tries to hinder them under the idea that the benevolent intervention of a more liberal high-minded government, which will then, by the way, forget the people on the bottom with their lofty ideals and everything like that, and they'll trample the middle on the way. The problem with people who are extreme left, and I'll tell you exactly the problem with people who are extreme right. Problem with people who are extreme left is that they don't understand that the peasants always trample the middle class on their way to the Bastille and to take power from the rich people at the top. So what you have is the bottom 10% and the top 10% slaughter a good portion of the middle 80 in their feud with each other, and they're both wrong. And they're both wrong. They're both wrong. They're both wrong.
It's not left and right. It's actually like conservative, liberal, conservative. And then they
it's more like everybody, because you have a lot of people that are both liberal and conservative at the very, very bottom and at the very, very top. And the people in the center are mostly moderate or are slightly left or slightly right. And they could agree on, the 80% can agree on more than 80% of things. That's the irony. But the other two, the top 10 and the bottom 10, will murder all of us and destroy everything over 10% of the things that they disagree with.
That's so sad, dude.
That's the weirdest thing, right? Isn't that weird?
It's so weird, dude.
So weird.
Like, what do you think of Daily Wire? Like, you know, what you're talking about reminds me so much of what these guys do, because they do seem to me like an extreme right-wing view. I don't know. Tell me what you think.
I think that they are like beyond right of center, but I wouldn't call all of them extremely right wing. I think they are on individual issues in a lot of cases, but I'm also not hyper familiar with every single person associated with them. And it's not an endorsement, or it's just that I think that the thing that they do very well, that is valuable, is there are three things they do well that is valuable.
Okay.
One, they challenge establishment power and ideals and are contrarian, and that is necessary even when you disagree with people. It is necessary to have contrarians, and it's necessary to have people that will challenge you. Number two, they are catering to a unserved, disenfranchised group. And I tell every YouTube creator, find a group of people that are underserved or not served at all, and devote yourself to giving them a voice, letting them be seen, like Joshua Fluke does. Joshua Fluke is a workers' rights advocate in the smartest way possible that an influencer and a creator can be. And I wouldn't call him left or right. I'd call him a moderate, and I would call him, because he's not anti-capitalism either. And he's a YouTuber. You can't be a YouTuber, by the way, and be anti-capitalist.
No, he's the most practical type of like
exactly. He's who
like a workers' rights guy you could find today.
He's
like,
who should actually be the type.
Stuff.
He's the type of person, not him specifically. He's the type of person who should actually be having the serious conversation about substantive policy. And he's like what I would say is a moderate that has progressive ideals here, balanced by practical ideas and fiscal responsibility here, because he is about fiscal and individual responsibility and getting your life together and getting your shit together. Like, he
and
really
responsibility for the business owner too, because it's always like you have responsibility, but it's like, no, the business owner has to have some responsibility too.
There has
to be.
The
guy comes out with the heaters on Joshua Fluke channel. Like he'll have like videos up there like, this employer told someone that they couldn't get fired after 6 months, and then they did it anyway, and he's like mad and he rips them, and it's important. You know, you need that.
I think that people who are very smart, I think the Daily Wire is very smart in their own right, and I think that they're serving the opposite end of an audience that the Young Turks serves. But I think the business model, monetization, and marketing strategies of the Daily Wire are more effective and are smarter than what TYT is doing. TYT in its prime was what Daily Wire is now in its upcoming prime. And I don't think that's just a matter of the pendulum swinging left, right, back and forth. I think that the folks at the Daily Wire, especially as people who are much more capitalistic, are more effective, more thoughtful, more data-driven on how they do their monetization, their strategy, but also their acquisition, their work ethic.
Insane. They just signed Jordan Peterson. I mean, that's nuts, dude. To sign Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is already a famous YouTuber. He's putting repurposing all the content back onto the Daily Wire channel, and then onto
the inventory. Like, oh my God.
The
inventory, the shorts that they're going to blow up from that. Shorts is not even a monetization strategy. It's a growth strategy. It's not. So YouTube Shorts is not about making money. YouTube Shorts is about maximizing reach and then monetizing that that reach later. So ironically, shorts is long tail now, and creators who take advantage of it and nail it and get right, and media organizations that get right, media organizations are going to be able to like destroy with shorts because they have the resources to have editors around the clock sourcing things and making these things and churning them out and getting the most reach. And then it's going to grow their audience. Then the algorithm is going to serve that audience the long form content for the monetization. They're going to get more signups. More people are going to be aware. It's a branding play at scale. It's so viral. Crazy. It's viral marketing is the most brilliant thing. It's the most brilliant thing.
It's terrifying, man.
And the thing is, I don't have to agree. By the way, I don't have to agree with the Daily Wire. I don't have to agree with Daily Wire. I don't have to agree with the Young Turks. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they don't have brilliant business models. They have millions of subscribers. They have hundreds of thousands of paid people. CNN Plus can get 10,000 paying members. Daily Wire has like 800,000 paying members. You tell me who's smarter, Daily Wire or CNN?
No,
tell me who's smarter.
You
tell me who's smarter, CNN or Young Turks? Young Turks is smarter than CNN. Young Turks is smarter than CNN. They are the left-wing version of what Daily Wire is. But I think that the business model that Daily Wire is pursuing right now and the talent acquisition and expansion model that they're pursuing is the superior business model. And the Young Turks were, like, in my opinion, more savvy. They were very savvy about YouTube in the early days, but I think they got comfortable. I think you can't get comfortable. I think to be competitive, they should do the same thing. The left should embrace this strategy.
Yeah, dude, these guys are, but you don't find that they're divisive? Because this is what I found with like Fox News did it first. Then basically they showed everyone in TV that like the money is in making people fight. These guys, every video is a fight though. That's the thing. If you ever go through the content, it's addictive. I watch it. It's entertaining on some level. Like, but the stuff they're doing about trans rights, like they're spending so much time talking about turnover.
I think that
Disney's grooming our children.
You know what I think? I think that they're. I just think that they're using it as a marketing play because they can.
Yeah.
I just think that that's a marketing play. I don't even know if they sincerely. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not educated.
Dude, they're big documentary.
I'm not educated about that.
They're calling it the biggest documentary of the year.
Well, I would call anything I make the biggest whatever.
I know.
That's marketing.
But if you look at their marketing, like they're really leading with their "What Is a Woman" documentary. "What Is a Woman" is a documentary made by one of the main guys, the Matt Walsh, and it's apparently the most successful documentary of 2022. But they're very proud of it.
I would call anything that I would call. They can't even. I don't know. Qualify that claim. Qualify that claim. Qualify the claim that's the greatest documentary. I don't think. How is that going to be the greatest documentary? Like,
I know. What is a woman? I know you haven't even heard of it.
There's no way to qualify.
It's like a very this documentary. It's called "What Is a Woman," and it's basically like him going around being like just trying to debunk, quote unquote, like any kind of question.
Oh, so it's man on the street. So it's man on the street. It looks like it's man on the street.
It's a full documentary. He does a lot of man on the street. It's almost like Borat. He goes to like feminist marches and he's like, "What is a woman?" And they're like, "Get out of here."
Have you seen? Oh, speaking of comedians, have you seen Sneeko? Have you ever heard of the YouTuber Sneeko?
Yeah. Sneeko's sick, man.
Sneeko is brilliant. Sneeko is brilliant. And by the way, Susanoo. First of all, Susanoo, Madara did nothing wrong. Yeah, I'm a Naruto fanboy. Like, first of all, Susanoo, Madara did nothing wrong. Madara did nothing wrong. Number one. Like the screen name. And number two, everything you consume in media can fall under the classifications of propaganda unless it is an academic publication in nature. And even that, you have to check the boxes to qualify whether it is coming from propaganda. Because the thing is, everything you consume in modern media today, everything, and I mean literally just about everything, you can go through a list. You can go through a list and go through the checklist of what qualifies something as propaganda. And there's not a single probably television show, movie, news outlet, anything you consume, maybe even not even YouTubers, except for like maybe people who are entertainment YouTubers who do their own thing. Maybe you could qualify that as not being propaganda.
No, but like, you gotta admit that there's like
everything,
a line between art and like, because even their
art is fine.
And their movies are actually oddly not very right way, like they don't push any ideology.
I think anything you watch there, if you check the boxes and we go through it, we'll find that like 90% of all consumed media would qualify as propaganda.
Okay, but at what point do you say like it's weird that these guys are putting out like anti-gay marriage material or like anti like
I think it's weird to put out
Jordan Peterson actually
in a way
just put out a clip saying that they like basically defending conversion therapy. Like it's okay to convert people who
I'm not educated about that, so I don't have any I have
no. But I'm saying at some
is.
point you got to be like I'm just using it as an example. By the way,
he's
like,
weird as a person. He's weird as a person.
And he just got signed by them though because he's good at this kind. What I like, there's got to be a line for you. When do you say something's propaganda?
Well, when do you say something's hurtful? Well, when do you say something's hurtful? And if it's hurtful to me, is that enough to justify it not existing because it's hurtful to me? How many people do I represent? Well, then how many people think it's hurtful to not have it? There's like, so that's why, generally speaking, we have to side with liberty. We have to have limitations to things, obviously, but we also have to. There's limitations to things, but we also have to account for liberty. And I understand that people get very emotional. I try to be more objective because I want to measure things and I want to know what's true. Like objectively.
I'm not here to cancel anyone, but I just want to make sure that we're thinking rationally, right? Like
that's my goal.
Right, like we were just talking about, some of the reasons why maybe American healthcare and American education costs 10 times more than everywhere else. I think part of it is Cold War propaganda, and there's actually great videos that show you the link there where they go, oh, we're gonna, if we have
that in McCarthyism,
and McCarthyism, right? So these guys, they believe in that, like they're trying to bring that Cold War propaganda back, and I feel like there's a real damage to America if we don't have some sign of like, it's a weird thing. Like I'm not saying anyone should be canceled, but I think we should be like maybe. Although liberals just are too scared to fight with them.
Why do all these media companies, these social media companies, have a policy about misinformation around COVID, but they never stepped up with the misinformation around cannabis and the fact that that was propaganda and that people have been wrongfully imprisoned for decades around cannabis, which is when like done properly, consumed properly in moderation, it's just natural and it's like healthy and it's therapeutic. It deals with people's pain, stress. It's affordable. We could do things around that, and we should have criminal justice reform around that. See, I sound like a lefty now. Now I sound like a lefty.
I'll tell you, Daily Wire, if we look up marijuana, they probably have 10 videos out saying like it's the devil's, like it'll lead to.
I'd have to know. But here's the thing. And thank you, by the way, Sasano, for the apology. It's like, I get it. People get like jump the gun or get triggered. But my thing is there are double standards that have to be addressed. And there's a lot of hypocrisy and there's a lot of corruption. And it's largely for private interest benefit. See, again, now I sound like a socialist, right? But what I'm talking about, I think that corruption is like something that most people could care about. And it's not, I don't think it's partisan. I don't think corruption is a partisan issue. I think corruption exists in both parties and in the nature of a duopoly and even outside the nature of, everyone thinks that ending the duopoly is the answer. And the thing is, I think it helped, but I don't think it solves everything. There are plenty of countries we can look at that don't have a duopoly and are still massively, massively corrupt, even though they have 4 or 5 parties. So you have to really look at what I believe we have to look at is incentives, because we're human nature, right? I believe that we don't do enough stuff that looks at what's our fundamental human nature. That's why when I talk about, courses, I'm like Spencer. I'm like, well, let's look at the ethics around the marketing of how it's presented and who it qualifies and disqualifies. And then I'll also, again, I sound like a lefty because, again, remember, my thing is weirdly, the person who was sitting there attacking me on, grifters and their expensive courses is I said rich people should pay more. How is that even a controversial? Rich people should pay more for things that they like, expensive things. They want to. They will.
Yeah, they want to pay more. They want to make sure that they're getting the right guy.
The problem is when people psychologically are unhealthy and are not in a position and want to emulate rich people or think that if a rich people buys this and it's good for them, then it'll be good for me. And it's like, no, you haven't qualified. You're not qualified for that to benefit you in the same way as it does. That's the biggest thing. In the same way that there are some people that they're not qualified to get out of college what another person is qualified to get out of college. And so we don't respect people's individuality and assess them and also create a framework for what's best for them. What we do is we make these cookie cutter things because we can scale cookie cutter things, and it's profitable to make. It's profitable. I'm a graphic designer. It's profitable to make templates. And if you specialize, it's expensive. So when you look at that, well, then that means that people with less means either end up with something that's not suited to them, or they end up with trying to chase the expensive people thinking it's suiting to them and then being disappointed with the results. We have to also, the thing is, what we should be doing is we should also be creating something. We should find a way to balance solutions for people that are outliers and specialize around and their abilities and circumstances. But that doesn't always answer in subsidizing it 100%. It's about putting them in the best position possible, suited to their abilities, aptitudes, personality, and sometimes their circumstances. And so I think we leave too many people behind. My biggest thing is we throw away too many people. And that's also my issue with the cannabis thing. We throw away people for nothing. We throw away people for nothing.
For no reason.
We're making people too disposable. And I think that's a problem. I think we should be monetizing everyone's potential. In fact, that's actually my entire philosophy of YouTube is there is a place now, and it won't be easy. It will be bone crushingly hard, but the possibility exists to come as you are and create as you are.
Awesome. Yeah.
Like, well, come as you are. It's the possibility is like, okay, there might be people out there that accept me and are willing to support me. And I have a way to reach them, because the problem was, if you're in a small town, there was never a way to reach people. If you were in a small town 20 years ago, you're a small town, you're an artist, you're a painter, you're a photographer. You might not be able to do anything with that. And then you're going to be working something you hate. And it's permanent. Today, it's that you can work your 9-to-5 job, dislike it, side hustle, have a little bit of leverage to say, now I'm not going to be broke. And I can, that job that I grabbed because it was there, now I can hold out and I can get a better job because I'm like, my pockets won't be completely empty. I have Dave Ramsey's emergency fund in my bank. I've got options now because of a side hustle finances options.
We almost have to do a side hustle now. It almost seems like we're going into a side hustle economy. You have to be making some kind of creative art. It's almost like back to what we were doing before. But it's like before we were all like individual, naturalistic. And then we went through a period of like, okay, everyone's falling in line.
Industrial revolution. We were all
industrial.
So here's my thing. We were all, you know how everyone's argument is not everyone can be an entrepreneur? Everyone was a cell phone or a family business or a trade. You didn't have a choice. Before corporations, before the Industrial Revolution, you didn't have a choice. You were either that or you were a freelancer. And by freelancer, I mean literally a hire lance. That's where the word comes from, which means you were a mercenary. So your options back then were, you could be a freelancer and you could like take a temporary contract on a fishing boat or on an expedition of piracy, right? Like in Princess Bride, you know, you'd be a mercenary you'd be a mercenary. You literally,
pirates, were hot
pirates,
back
right? Pirates, right?
So
like you do that. You join a guild, you become an artisan, you go into piracy, or you work the family business, or you work a farm, or you are an employee of the nobility. And then if you walk in on the wrong thing, they're going to kill you. So like, or you join the military. Those were your options in the old world. And then the Industrial Revolution offered people a lot more choices. And the thing is, by the way, Gavia, DJ, if you're in a job that pays well, you are very fortunate, not lucky. You're very fortunate. That
I'm just hearing a lot.
You did the right things. Good for you, by the way. Good for you. You did the right things.
You did the right
things. You did the right things. You were smart. You specialized, and you picked the best options available to you. And that's the right thing to do. But most people today,
statistically, people are saying everyone's going to have 4 jobs now.
I don't agree with that.
Becomes like,
it depends on what they're qualifying as a job, because that's the other problem with marketing propaganda is, what do they mean? What are they defining a job as? And what's the difference between a job and a career? Because I would imagine that Gavia might have a career, saying job, career, but might have a career. Because like jobs and what they pay is different than what careers pay, because the difference is specialization.
No, people are saying that careers, actually, I said jobs, but there have been studies done saying that careers are now like...
Teacher is a career, by the way. I don't think...
teachers are not going to go. You stay there for life. Yeah,
teachers not only...
Teacher, doctor, like there's a bunch
of... Those are careers, and those are also vocations. Those are careres and vocations. That's different. I think than a job is working at Walmart. A job is Walmart. A job is Walmart. A job is
anything driving
FedEx
is going to get replaced by self-driving cars soon. I think. I think people are using that, and then people are talking about even so many corporate jobs. Corporate jobs are like just slowly figuring out how to get a machine
automation. Well, it's automation. Andrew Yang was right about the automation, because think about it. You and I can build online businesses that 20 years ago would have required 30 employees, and today they would require 1 or 2 or a bunch of machines. Yeah,
dude. We're fucked. I mean, the artist is not fucked. We're the last ones that have to...
Well, that's the thesis of my book. That's the
You
thesis
have
of my
to
book.
create something awesome.
Well, that's the thesis. I'll tell you what. I'm not shilling my book. You can take the book off the screen. Take the book off the screen. I'm not shilling my book. By the way, it's only $9, and I'm not shilling it, and I don't care because remember, this is also I put this out on YouTube.
I'm putting it for the people, dude. We need to get this book.
It will be valuable. It's going to be. I think it's got because here's my philosophy.
Yeah.
My philosophy as someone who literally okay, so when I was 17, I was working for $6 an hour in the mall. Now, also, actually, that first job, it wasn't even $6 an hour. It was $6 an hour commission against a draw, which then they made illegal later. They made it illegal there because I could end up working for free. Commission against a draw. Yeah, commission against a draw. So, I worked in an economy where the nature of how you get paid is illegal by today's standards and was made illegal. Damn. So just think about that. And I was 17, right?
What, is this like the Juice documentary that we saw where it was like this, because is it like those stores inside of Walmart where they have like people trying to sell you shit, but then that's like a little pyramid scheme? Commission against a draw. The way commission against a draw works is that you have to make sales equal to what your theoretical salary rate would be for the hours that you put in.
Right. So commission against a draw. And if you don't make equivalent sales, and I'm not talking you have to sell $6 an hour worth of stuff. I mean, at the commission rate they set, would this equal your commission turning out to that? And that means I could end up just cleaning the store for free one day if there's no traffic.
Yeah.
For free. So I could go, so I could actually have to work to, but they call it, we're giving you an at salary rate. You see what I'm saying? It's like, so, and this was, by the way, this was Hex, who's owned by the May Corporation, which they rebranded all the Hex stores to Macy's, but this was 20 years ago. This is over 20 years ago. So I was a teenager. Now, as an entry-level job, you think, okay, well, that's an entry-level job, right? But here's the thing. Do you know what I would have, working $6 an hour, I would have been better served than working year-round doing that. I would have just been better off mowing lawns all summer. Later I did that math and it was like, oh shit. But but you get a job because you want to fit in with your friends. You want to be responsible. You want to save up and buy a car. You want to be able, when you ask out a girl, to say that you have a job. You want to, so like it's messed up. But again, today people start higher, and a commission against a draw is now illegal in all 50 states in America. But it wasn't when I was a kid, right? So I'm taking this perspective of, wait a minute, if I had done the math back then, mowing lawns would have literally made me infinitely more money for infinitely less time. The difference was being in the mall in air conditioning and fitting in, and the social acceptance of being on payroll and getting.
That's why we went to university, to get laid. Like I got my first job, and I went
to not disappoint the parents, because you and I have immigrant parents. You and I have immigrant parents.
Yeah, so there's the immigrant parents. There's that, but okay, I'm doing that for them. But partly, and I think a lot of people, this is the only reason they go to university. They basically go $40,000-$50,000 in debt, thinking like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get laid, dude. It's like the whole American Pie getting laid mission.
People go for the college experience, and these will be the best years of my life. You want to talk about propaganda? That's the propaganda.
You're an alcoholic now.
Remember that movie Accepted, where the guy scammed and made his own college, and it was a scam. It was like literally a scam school. But like the thing they had to tell the parents to convince all the parents was, oh, well, why else does anyone go to college? To, get a good job with a decent salary. But that is the lie. That is the great lie. I don't think the American dream is dead. I think the American dream will have to evolve. And I think it starts with you making a choice to define your own American dream, to go
I think the American dream.
The American dream is go your own.
And making up a fake university, and then he throws the Ripper parties, and everyone comes in parties, and then he ends up coming out of it, and they're like, you know what, son? I like your chutzpah. We need you in the marketing department, and he gets a six-figure job. That's the American dream. It's about creativity. It's about saying screw you to the authorities, doing something different.
I think the real American dream is defining your American dream. I think it's going your own way. Because again, even immigrants who come here, they do not do what the regular American does in the pursuing their American dream. Dude, and they don't get to, but they all end up, ultimately, most of them end up achieving the economic mobility of immigrant minorities is higher than native people that are here and have been here for generations. People who've been American for a very long time have less economic mobility than people who first come here. And the first generation Americans, I'm a first generation American, that come here. And the reason is a different work ethic and cultural ethos. That's not to say they're better than Americans. It's saying they do it differently. At a cultural level, their behavior is different. So what if you take that immigrant mentality and you apply that to the creator economy and online stuff, and you say, what if you take the immigrant hustle and make that the culture of online business? Yeah. That's what my kind of philosophy is what if you take the immigrant cultural hustle of immigrant hustle.
It's beautiful.
And then you get people who want to make money online, and you basically incorporate them into that immigrant mentality and the immigrant ethos, little by little, piece by piece.
Yeah.
Because what do we do when we come over here, Amish? We know, like, I'm not doing anything with my free time that isn't making money or being with family. I'm like, that's what it is. That's
I am
how
basically a
we do it.
workaholic, I guess. Like all I do is
But
work.
it's not.
I don't think about
Because if
like,
you had kids, because if you had kids, you would balance it, and you'd be work and kids and not Netflix, unless it's Netflix with the kids. You'd be work and your girl if you married her, and it would be just work and your girl, and you wouldn't be out there with single friends, because that's not how we do it.
No.
So
I like that immigrant hustle that even in university when we went, it was almost, you can just tell. Now they don't do it. Now my cousin's mad because he's like, now these immigrants come and they're fucking, like they're partying and shit, and they're taking our girls away. And he's like, what the fuck are they doing? But back in the day, dude, it was always like a bunch of white people partying. I'm with the white people usually like half the time, but like a bunch of white people partying. And then these Indian nerds been like, you invite them to parties. Like we would invite the immigrants to parties. Be like, oh no, it's too late. I have to go.
Like share. You're single and you hang out with people who are in couples. It's not as much that they're hanging out with a bunch of single people, because that usually only goes one way after a certain period of time.
Yeah.
So that we're saying something a little bit different, but also it's also different depending on what your culture is. Your culture in some cultures, it's more or less done. It's done more or less, or again, it's that you hang around people who have couples or families, but their goal is they're introducing all the single people to each other for them to pair off and then to, have families and do that. And so that's another thing that's culturally different. The other thing we do culturally that's different is we don't do as much the kick people out at 18 thing, because we're like, that's a waste of money. You're paying an extra rent. You're making somebody else rich. We keep money in the family.
You stay at home, dude. You stay at home to build a business.
Exactly.
And we keep money. Estate.
And buy real estate, right? And we keep money in the family. And it's like, even now, and we set each other up. Because what people don't realize, like all this money I make, I either put it back into my business or I put it back into my family. Like one of my goals is to set my brother's 10 years younger than me. He's trying to get his life together and figure his life out. He lives with me. I don't charge him rent. But the goal is I'm going to get another property, and then maybe he is on site on the property and I have it either Airbnb or I do the house hacking thing. He gets to not have to pay me rent, but I get a property manager. And the other thing is I get a property manager. He doesn't have to pay me rent. But what I also get is now I'm building more equity, and we have another family holding. Dude, and so that it stays in the family, and the descendants have it. And so it's lifelong properties. And then, that's the thing. It
must be passed on.
That's what immigrants are about: generational wealth instead of self-gratification. Immigrants are about generational wealth, about babies and grandbabies having it better than them, instead of
are you going to
live
kids?
My best? Yeah, that's my plan. Like God willing, that's my plan.
I do. I know. I have to get on it too. I'm so old. But
I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like by going to these conferences and events like we went to, then I will meet somebody that's in the same mentality and is in that building and wants a family, and not necessarily to, again, doing the best living our singles life thing, but is family oriented. Because you have to partner with people, not just in relationships, but in general. What elevates creators is when creators they have these online communities, and they get away from their small town, or they don't have to always deal with their parents who don't understand, and they have people who support them. Because what the creator economy and the internet does is it lets people have a community of support that they would not have in their local community sometimes.
Yes.
And it lets them
like
scale.
The Congregaation here. So many people here in the Congregaation. Raziel the Great, Ocho Cinco, Share Core has been here since the beginning. Gavia DJ. Thanks everyone for coming. You're appreciated. Yeah, no, this is a family. Baked Potato 24. This is like a congregation. They're here to build this ashram, this digital ashram.
Well, it's like-minded people. It's like-minded people like me, you, Tom, Spencer, Steven. We're like-minded people, right?
Yeah.
We're all on YouTube. We all have certain perspectives of the world. We're both capitalistic, but we're ethical, or we try to be, or with what we believe our ethics are. But also, a lot of our ethics are rooted in the culture and stuff we grew up in and everything like that. Me and Spencer both grew up here in the South, for example. Actually, I live in Spencer's old neighborhood that he grew up in.
Oh, wow.
Like in Georgia. Yeah, me and him were joking about this, like, because I literally went. I actually went to I drove up and I went to the old house he grew up in as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got to actually see Spencer Cornelia's old house. What would be funny is if somehow, some way, we convinced like the people there to let us do a house tour, and he did a house tour of the house he grew up in. That'd be amazing, right?
Yeah, it'd be
Like,
great if he,
so-
even for a property flipping YouTube channel, to be like, I'm gonna flip the home I grew up in. Go back and buy it.
Yeah, that would be brilliant, right?
That'd
It'd be brilliant
sick for his
content,
channel.
right?
Yeah.
So that'd be dope. You know, like Steven's a proud Texan. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, your values are immigrant values, but you also, you know, have been in Canada, and there's certain
Canadian
things. Yeah, so
socialist
there's
thing,
and there's
which
nothing wrong with
we
that.
suffered
And-
through that.
Yeah, so
yesterday.
oh God, right? Don't no net neutrality, baby. Let's get it back. But like but you know, so like we and Tom, you know, grew up in what the former Soviet Union, and so he has a perspective, and he has an you know what I'm saying? So like people, like we have these experiences, and we've had these things that one gave us our ethical values in the way that we were brought up, and the injustices that we've seen both systemically or culturally or whatever, or even personally or whatever. And it shaped our mentality, our work ethic, and our value system. But the thing is, every single one of us was basically, until we found our people, locally, we were all loners locally, because nobody was doing what we were doing. No one was doing what we were doing. No one was into the stuff we were doing. So we were loners. But we have the internet, and it brings people who are like-minded together. That's the cool thing. The problem is then sometimes that becomes radicalization or cults of personality or other things, or actual cults. But the upsides outweigh the bad sides, because there's more people who are good, earnest, and hardworking than there are scumbags. Like,
look, there's a whole anti-cult cult growing. I mean, we are like an anti-cult cult, but the YouTube has a bunch of them. They have like, okay, there's an MLM community.
Tom has kids, by the way. Gavia, Tom has kids.
Oh, Tom, yeah, Tom Nash has kids. I'm sure Steven will soon.
And they're super young. They're super young. You and I are the only ones who have to worry.
Yeah. Where it's, man, you know, you think you get away from the immigrant.
Well, no, Elon's still having kids. Elon's still having kids. We're good. Elon's still having kids. We're good.
Yeah, no, apparently we can just keep doing it.
Yeah, apparently, like,
nice.
Well, in my family, well, you and I have those family genes to where people can have, like, the men can have kids up into the 60s.
Yeah, I guess so, right? The men can do until 60s. Yeah, that's right. I think Theo Vaughn's dad was like 70 or something when he was born, or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And he's a sweetheart. Don't forget about me, Jabibi. What's up, baby? How you doing? Yo. How's everybody doing? Urain is here, dude. Urain is also a SEO guy. He does online marketing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no. Yeah. I think I do that. Like SEO isn't dead. It's just that now it's becoming about contextualizing things with the understanding of what algorithms are. YouTube's a good example. YouTube SEO isn't dead. If you really think about it, YouTube itself kind of makes the claim that YouTube SEO is dead, but that's just because they're looking at it from the perspective of, well, we get all these views out of YouTube Shorts. We get all these views out of suggested, it's people scrolling, but that's like entertainment and mindless scrolling. Entertainment is not what a search engine is suited to. It's suited to solutions. So it means I'm looking for a specific thing. And it's not always about I'm looking for education or information. It's I'm looking for a specific thing, a specific person, a specific group. So categorization and accurate, honest labeling probably matters more than it ever has in an abundance of content, especially vapid content or unreliable content. I think it matters. I think it matters more actually in terms of like contextualization.
Yeah, dude. I love this middle camera angle. Sick.
Yeah, no, dude. This is the kind of thing actually I want to teach more people is getting into. I'm going to be doing some behind the scenes type style videos, but to make them not come off as just behind the scenes videos, I'm going to film them MTV Crib style about my studio setup. Yeah. And we'll make it a little entertaining. We'll do a little bit of the Mr. Beast thing with throwing the dollar amounts that things cost up on thing to make it a game where people are trying to calculate how much everything cost.
Yeah, dude.
But dude, these are the two cameras. These are replacement cameras of what was stolen. And you should see why I want to use these for interviews. Because if I'm interviewing people, dude, we got people on CNN that don't have this quality.
No, they don't. They
phone in. They don't have this quality. So like, you know, they
can't get the hits, dude. They're going out of business. It is like university. It's like taking a university class on online marketing. And they're like, okay, make a MySpace account or whatever. It's changed. Like it'll change in 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to just be in the game. That's the only
way.
No,
it's massively competitive. That's the other thing is I'm trying to teach creators, okay, if you're going to try to make money at something, you have to understand what the market wants is not always the thing that you want to make, but do your skills allow you to make what the market wants? So it's about, and the thing is, my book is not, and my philosophy is not, oh, just do what you're passionate at. All right. So you're familiar with Ikigai, right? In Eastern philosophy, you're familiar with Ikigai, right?
Every day something a little better.
No, that's not Ikigai. That's a different
that's
one. Ikigai. So Ikigai comes from Japan. It comes from Okinawa specifically, right? And it's this Eastern philosophy that focuses on I think of it as a framework for how to live your life. And so it's 4 quadrants, or you can do 4 overlapping circles and rings, Venn diagram style. But basically, okay, what am I passionate about? Meaning, what do I like? But also the counterbalance. What do I dislike? What are my skills? What am I good at? What am I good at? But also, okay, what are my actual limitations? What are my realities? What are my limitations? Then what can people pay me for? And how much do I need to be paid is something you have to think about. But then also, what serves a need? Who can I serve? What is the market like? What do people want? What do people need? Okay, what do people want, and what do they need? So, okay, what I love. I should probably avoid doing things I hate, because love, counterbalance of love is hate. Am I going to do something I hate for money? That's a bad idea. Your life will be out of balance if you do that. If I'm doing what I love, will doing it for other people make me happy? And will doing it for money make me happy? Or will that mean I don't love it anymore? You have to understand that. What am I willing to do and not willing to do for money is a really healthy boundary. Okay, people will pay for that and I like it, but am I good at it? Because if I'm not genuinely good at it or can't become good at it, then I might be a charlatan, or I might be taking a job I'm not qualified from someone who's qualified to do it. And then, okay, is this something that the world needs or wants? And does it make the world better, or am I making the world worse? Am I good at something and I enjoy the game and hustle of it? Can I feel good about that forever if I know I'm damaging the world, though, or that it's hurting people? So you have to, whatever the world wants and needs, but also what's good to put out into the world is a boundary to understand with Ikigai. If someone lives their life with these intentional thoughts when they make a decision, their life will be better. It will be more whole. It will be in balance, and they will be doing things on purpose. This is a framework for how to live a balanced life, because you can make boundaries around these things.
Very powerful teachings. This is a powerful teaching. Ikigai. Yeah, no, this is great. This is basically because you want to be in a state of it can almost put your life into a flow state where it's like you're doing it's like the perfect balance, because it is tricky.
I don't have and I don't have a course on YouTube to sell YouTube course yet. I plan to, because I don't like the ones that exist, but I'm also going to put out, I have, like, that's the thing, dude. I've been doing this for 9 years and I don't have a how to grow on YouTube course, but I'm going to make one because everything's outdated now, and everything there, a lot of them are good. Graham Steffens, and you guys interviewed Graham Steffens. Graham Steffens is good and it works. Yeah. But it's also now very dated. YouTube Shorts is different. It didn't exist back then. YouTube Shorts is different. A lot of things are different. New policies are the most probably biggest thing. There's new policies for everything. Right. There's new monetization policies. There's new monetization features that didn't exist back then. And YouTube Live is radically different now. So I think that most courses are now outdated, and there's a way I want to do it, but I want to also teach the production side, but also a lot more businessy things than just, how to grow. So quick. So Uran, you should just watch my free content, because you're not at 1,000 subscribers. Don't buy anything. Uran, don't buy anything from me until you're monetized on YouTube. You need to have 1,000 subscribers and you need to be monetized on YouTube. I try to not work with anybody who doesn't have YouTube monetization already activated. My exception is if someone already has a 6-figure business, but I don't take money from people who don't have a real option to make money at what they're doing, because that's my qualifier. And that's what Spencer and I have talked the most probably about, is what makes, I even go to Spencer and I go, okay, hey, what do you think about this? And I ask him questions, because what I want to know, and I've asked you questions about this. I go, we were talking about this when we were at Podfest. We were talking about what makes sense to put behind a paywall and what makes sense to be free. Whether you're an entertainer like Andrew Schultz or like you or your friend, like, okay, if something is like outside of like what YouTube will promote, or YouTube will demonetize this because of the jokes or whatever, YouTube will demonetize this because of the jokes. Maybe that's behind a paywall, and that's for like the real fans and the people that are like willing to support comedy with their wallet, right? You ticket it like you do an event, and you treat it with the same respect as an event, and you bring the same quality of an experience, right? So like you go that route. With me, to be honest, there are things even in education that I feel YouTube somewhat censors, or that YouTube does not reward, And part of why I know this is because even like with Steven's channel was not always, when he was doing Coffee Break, it did not get the views that it deserved on certain topics. And some of it was YouTube throttling those topics or censorship, or it was you have to pander to the algorithm a little bit. Like but his answer was not necessarily, okay, turn education into a course. I think he got burnt out on the education stuff and went a different route of how can I educate people, be entertaining, do something I'm passionate about that serves edutainment, right? Edutainment that serves people. But again, look at how hard he had to grind. Yeah. It's like that may not always be healthy for people to do. So what are other options of monetization that like maybe YouTube doesn't limit or are not as prohibitive? And what are the different models for making money? Because there's also content in YouTube that does not pay well, that takes more effort to get views, but it doesn't pay equally to something that takes less effort. And if you don't know that, well, you might change how you feel. If you knew that I'm rewarded more for this, but I'm working harder and getting paid less for that, you might change your mind about what your content is once you see that. But then you also could go, well, does that make me happy? Does it make me happy? And so sometimes if you're comfortable enough, I think you should. All right, let me ask you this. And I genuinely believe this with my whole heart. Is it better for somebody to work for a boss they don't like and make $65,000 a year, or to have a YouTube channel doing what they enjoy every day, and maybe they work a little bit harder than 40 hours a week, but they make $55,000 a year? They're taking a $10,000 a year pay cut. And this is a person who's single, no kids, so no responsibility on that end.
Oh, take the YouTube.
$10,000 left of lifestyle, not working for a dickhead boss, $55,000 a year, and working 50 hours a week instead of 40 for $10,000 a year less, but no dickhead boss. What's unreasonable about that? You got, that's where it's going. That's where the world is going. We got to go more independent business, I think. You know what I mean? It seems like a lot. Andrew Yang, you were mentioning Andrew Yang before too. You got to go independent. I think people are going to be forced to go independent. I think it's a life cycle. It's just like the immigrant life cycle, right? I think it's that you start with a crappy job, you side hustle though, and you do a podcast or a live stream or Twitch or YouTube or gaming or whatever you're trying to do, or whatever, right? The same way the old way of doing it used to be you work a crappy job in a diner and you go to night school. Well, now I think you bypass the night school unless you want to be a doctor, nurse, lawyer, whatever. You bypass night school and you go, I'm going to earn more money right now. I'm going to impact my lifestyle and circumstances now, not defer it by 4 years, maybe to start earning money and go into debt or pay up front. Because again, the upfront cost of doing YouTube is cheaper than the upfront cost of going to college, which is the other argument. And I'm not advocating for everybody to do YouTube or podcasts, but think about it. The upfront cost of doing a podcast that you can monetize and start making money. College's monetization is delayed by 4 to 5 years. You could just work. And with YouTube, you could just grind.
And you will get better at it.
And you will get better at it. Yeah. And once you qualify to monetize, and technically you can monetize on day one with different things. There are different things you can monetize on day one. Merchandise, maybe no one buys it right away, but the opportunity exists. You don't have an opportunity to monetize college on day one. You do have an opportunity to monetize a podcast or a YouTube channel or a Twitch stream on day one.
There is
donations and merch, or you write an ebook, or if you are qualified, you make a course, or you do affiliate links for your camera gear. I started with affiliate links for my camera gear.
Wow. That's how you first started monetizing.
Well, I started monetizing the first time I did Amazon, right? Amazon first month I did Amazon, I made $12. The second month I did Amazon, I made $500. Within 6 months, I had figured out how to make $1,000 a month on Amazon. I was able to pay rent with Amazon money within 6 months.
So were you making videos that sold the product, or
I was making budget reviews of budget camera gear and referring budget laptops that are under $1,000 because I was video editors. So I went niche. I went video editors and graphic designers. Here's what laptops exist in your budget. Here's my laptop. Here's what it can and cannot do. Here are the limitations. Here's the ups and downs. And people did that. And also, okay, here are the best camera accessories under a certain amount of dollars. Here's the camera lenses that I use, and the camera that I use, it's under this amount of money. It's under $1,000 because I'm a little broke boy. Here's how you, so like, and it was shopping guides, and it's because people couldn't always get the products in hand, or they didn't have them at the Best Buy back then or whatever. So it was a referral thing. And what people don't understand is when you start getting better gear, like the gear that I had stolen, if I refer someone to buy one camera lens, dude, one camera lens with Amazon, and Amazon's commissions are lower now than they were back in the day. They're lower now than they were back in the day. One camera lens, one photographer, a videographer, or YouTuber buys a camera lens, it's a $99 commission. It's a $99 commission. So if my video is reaching 10,000 people that are looking for a specific recommendation on whether this camera lens is good or not, or this focal length is good or not, or this feature. Yeah. There again, that's specific. This is my problem with people saying search is dead. Search is dead. Okay, but not for things that not for people who are trying to buy hardware or software. Hardware and software, search matters because you're saying, is this the lens I need to do an interview? Is this the switcher? All right, how good is the roll-in switcher for $300? Well, here are the sample footage. Here's what it does. Here's what it doesn't do. Here's how to plug in the microphone. That's a specific problem. And then someone buys that, and then, okay, cool. I got $25. I got $30. I got $50. Hardware channels like MKBHD or Linus Tech Tips, they make bank because they solve a problem for buyers only. Buyers only. They entertain the mass market, but then if a certain subsection of those people are tech buyers, then that's where they monetize it, and it's
so interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. That's such a good hustle,
and it's at a $0 extra cost. By the way, it costs the consumer nothing. I know everyone wants to think affiliate marketing is a scam, but affiliate marketing for hardware and software isn't a scam because the price is not going up. Sometimes it goes down, and it's a recommendation. Now, some people do it unethically with they don't own the thing that they're talking about or they've never used it. That's different. That's the only ethical concern is
Well, affiliate marketing is just like commission sales.
Yeah, it's just commission sales, no salary. Yeah.
Can be a scam, but not always. It depends on what you're selling.
If anything, it's more exploitative on the affiliate than it is on the consumer because the consumer is paying no extra money. The affiliate is doing a lot of work to get with Amazon, you get like a 2 to 8% commission depending on category. Fashion, clothing, selling clothing or selling Amazon's own products has the highest commission. Of course, Amazon's own products have the highest commission, right? Yeah. But like if I sell camera gear, like remember, if I sell a $2,000 lens, I get a $99 commission. That's a very small commission.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. It's more about the volume. Tyler has actually a specific question. Jaron Lanier talks about creators getting paid via micropayments. For example, each time someone watches a YouTube video, the creator gets paid 25 cents from the person viewing the video.
I'm not familiar with that, but you know who does that, but it's not the same pricing point. Skillshare does that, and that's how they're able to provide affordable online education because Skillshare is Netflix's business model. Skillshare is people will still love these 10 camera lenses. Like you can still say people love these 10 camera lenses and not buy the gear. Yeah, you can, but that's where you get the YouTube ad revenue from monetization, though.
Right.
So you get the YouTube ad revenue. So, but like here's the thing with the thing they were talking about with Jason Lanier. I'm not familiar with that person, but what I will say is Skillshare has $12 a month, which is basically Netflix, but for education. Yeah. And anyone who makes a Skillshare course or tutorial, like Amish, if you did something about comedy writing or creative writing on Skillshare, you get paid 3 to 8 cents for every minute watched. Oh, wow. You know how YouTube works. So you know that like 1,000 people could watch a YouTube video and you get like $2, right? One person watches you for an hour on Skillshare though, and you'd make the same $2 with one person versus 1,000. Wow. That's how Skillshare Premium works. That's why if you know anything reasonably well, you should teach a beginner's course for 30, 60, 90 minutes on Skillshare and make micro courses on Skillshare. Yeah,
I could make a silly meditation class. That's what I want to do live too. It's like a meditation show.
And the thing is, you could do it with decent production values. You could probably beat most of the people in the market there because your audio is better.
My ashram, I have a whole ashram here.
Yeah, exactly. But Skillshare's production values are usually low for people on Skillshare do low production value content and the audio is not good. You and I both know audio matters. Yeah. So if you have better audio, then your thing will get watched for a longer amount of time, which means you make more money. And then it'll get recommended because more people will do positive reviews and comments. So Skillshare is based on reviews, activity, and comments. And that's that algorithm. It's simpler than the YouTube algorithm because it's all about basically user satisfaction and a simplified way.
YouTube algorithm is a mysterious beast. Nobody really knows it.
A little bit. Actually, it's not. The biggest thing, the YouTube algorithm is not hard to figure out. It's hard to accommodate.
Yeah, yeah.
YouTube algorithm. I'll tell you the secrets of the YouTube algorithm. Everyone here's the secrets of the YouTube algorithm. And this is, by the way, Mr. Beast confirms this. He doesn't contradict what me and Daryl Leaves and Nick Pittman say about the YouTube algorithm here. It's also confirmed by YouTube employees. YouTube algorithm is about response. You all think it's about reach. It's about response. So response is click-through rate. Click-through rate is topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. So like, do I care about this thing? That's topic. Topic qualifies or disqualifies. Do I care about this thing? Title. Does this title resonate or trigger me emotionally? Do I understand it? So easy to read titles, emotional, compelling headlines, newspaper 101, clickbait 101, title. Okay. Thumbnail. Thumbnail has to stop me scrolling. Eye-catching, packaging. Oh, peacocking. It's just peacocking. It's just wear a red shirt, wear bright colors, do this, do that. Facial expression, be eccentric. Like thumbnails are, again, Steven's thumbnails, always an emotional face in every single thumbnail. Yeah. And then always there's some bright color of some kind. And also he frames them as a reaction, which then simulates the audience's reaction. So Steven does that. Same thing with his headlines. Brilliant headline, brilliant thumbnail. He tries to also time the market. He does things based on how relevant and timely they are. And then he also qualifies the viewer with people are into seeing scams and seeing scammers exposed. So he does the perfect combination of relevancy, of topic, title, and thumbnail to get the response needed to get the view.
Yeah, that's everything.
Right. So then after that, it's about the next response. The next response is retention. Yeah. YouTube's about retention rates. That first 30 seconds is make or break for every single video ever published. That's why Spencer and Steven have a format for their first 30 seconds that is conditioned to say, I'm going to keep watching, because YouTube judges you based on whether in that 30-second period, how many people came in and how many did you keep? Did people come into the club and then see the crowd and walk right back out? Did people come into the club, see hear the music and go, I'm out? Did people come into the club, see the girls and go, and go walk right back, or the guys and go walk right back out? It's about retention. So you got them in the door. Did you keep them? Did you retain them? Then retention for how long after that? How long after that? So it's milestones of how
you're
long.
You're like a basketball coach, just saying like take shots.
Fundamentals. But the problem is accommodating this, because it requires actual ability and talent. Because again, getting that topic right, most people, I'll just post whatever I want. I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to do this. No one wants to watch that. So you have to go, what do people, right? No one wants to watch it. All right, no one wants to watch it. Then the other problem is, okay, my talent. Am I passionate enough to be consistent? Because people quit because, okay, I'm not passionate about it, so then they're not consistent, or they burn out, so they're not consistent, they quit, or they're not getting paid enough for it to keep going. They're not getting paid enough for it to keep going. So even if they like it, they can't justify it because their life is not getting any better. So they can't justify it because I'm putting in all this hard work and I'm not getting enough of what I need in results, in money or attention, to justify the effort that I'm making. So they need compensation. And so if they don't feel compensated in the early stages for their efforts, or even in the late stages for their efforts, they quit. They quit like any other job, right? Any other career.
Really, you just have to go to fundamentals. You got.
And then the fundamentals is, do you have the level of skill? Do you have the level of skill to pull off getting people to click, getting people to stay that first 30 seconds, and then retain as many of them as possible to the end of the video? And do you have the skill and consistency to keep posting quality content that they want to watch enough over and over and over again, not taking long breaks or vacations, but make it sustainable. If you have to take a break like Steven did, do it, take a vacation. But like you have to do that enough to keep growing, to sustain that without losing the passion. You have to improve your skills to be competitive, and you have to make enough money to keep investing on it, keep going, and keep feeling rewarded. And you have to keep making what people like. You have to keep making people like, because if they start liking something different, you got to adapt and figure out, can I make something that I still am passionate enough about and good enough about that they like now, if they like a new thing or a different thing, and you pivot. And sometimes there's more money here, and I'm still passionate about it and people still want it, so maybe I do that and that's better, and stuff like that. Again, remember, there
has to be a period of throwing shit against the wall. You have to have it in you to try shit and try shit and try shit.
It went from Fake Guru Fridays to Crypto Scams.
Right. That's it.
You see?
Yeah.
Like you
And
pivot
back to
with the
fake guru
market.
Fridays.
And now
He's back.
back to, but you pivot because crypto's cooled down. So you have to pivot again. You see,
poor crypto.
you have to pivot again.
Yeah.
You have to pivot again. So you have to understand the market, follow the market. YouTubers fall off when they don't respect the audience and say, here's what the audience wants, or they don't respect the realities of the market of, okay, the world has changed, I will change with it.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
And that's where YouTubers, that's why a lot of the big YouTubers fell off, is they refused to evolve and change with the market, or they didn't grow up with their audience. Their audience is like, yeah, I'm not into this stuff anymore. Let's pivot.
Dude,
much.
There's
Paul brothers, like or hate them, they pivot.
Rise and fall.
Yeah.
Whole channels.
Like them or not, the Paul brothers knew how to pivot. That was smart. KSI knew how to pivot. KSI was the FIFA gamer. Look at his evolution. KSI is the greatest YouTuber.
There's not enough KSI documentaries. I just saw Colin and Samir put one out. What do you think of Colin and Samir?
I love Colin and Samir.
They're so artistic. They're like an artistic YouTube thing.
They found the answer that I couldn't find to what I wanted to do with my content. And the answer was, it works because they're a duo. They're the perfect combination. I never had, if I had found like a partner that I could do YouTube with, and again, my origin story is I was on YouTube back in 2006, but like me and my homies tried to do it. It didn't work out because people can't always be on the grind the same way.
No.
Some people have work ethic, some people don't.
It's actually really hard to make partners.
It's hard to do stuff with your boys.
It's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy. It's like the number one issue. Like, and there's so many people, families I know that like they don't talk. They won't talk anymore.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
We tried to start a business together. We hate each other now.
Yeah. No. I can. The difference with me and with my family is that we have the ability, and they have the capacity to separate. And I have a switch where I can separate when I'm your family member versus when I'm the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference.
There's a difference, man. You gotta, yeah. No, it's not easy to lead, especially with family. Like it does just get ugly and like.
But someone has to lead. But I think minorities and immigrants are better at in some respects. Well, immigrant minorities or immigrants in general. Immigrants,
because they're conservative.
Well, no, not because they're. But it's like, here's more immigrant propaganda for you. Here's more immigrant propaganda.
Yeah.
They're more traditional. It's not that they're more conservative. It's that they're more traditional.
Even if you look at like the Daily Wire people, they talk about hierarchy, structure, order,
hierarchy,
be in a line and get married, have kids.
Immigrants know that there are consequences for a lack of order because they experience them more harshly, especially in the places they immigrate to. If they go out of line, if they deviate, if they don't respect law and order, the consequences for immigrants are worse. They are almost always disproportionately worse. If we break the law, we get in trouble. We're worse. We're judged more harshly. Therefore,
the white man is just getting wasted at college and university, and they're going to be broke, dude.
You said it, not me.
We've been saying it for like 2 hours now, though. Like that call. The immigrants are coming in hustling hard. The East is winning. The West is, I guess, getting sloppy.
But it's a lack of discipline, though. It's a lack because people in the West who are disciplined, regardless of whether they're black, white, Asian, Latino, people who are disciplined disproportionately win in systems that are structured and hierarchies of competency. They do that. But I do want to go back to that first question. Then we go to Yaren's question.
Sure. This one by Roberto.
What do you think I can put my efforts into as a software dev to make it big with YouTube? Okay, so one, you need perspective on making it big. Making it big is 10,000 subscribers. 90% of people on YouTube, according to all the data that we have, and even I think YouTube may or may not publicly publish this. I know what they published the partner program, but here's the thing.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
90% of YouTubers never, ever get to 10,000 subscribers. So making it big on YouTube is being in the top 10% of YouTube. The top 10% of YouTube starts at 10,000 subscribers, and you get access to almost every single YouTube feature at 10,000 subscribers. So the only real goals initially to say you've made on YouTube is to be monetized, because there are 100 million global content creators that have ever done YouTube channels. 100 million people, only 3 million, according publicly to YouTube. This is public. This is in Susan Wojcicki's newsletter and blog. 3 million in the partner program. So literally only 3% of all people on YouTube are even monetized. 3%. That's it. So getting 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, just getting monetized is this crucible that almost no one accomplishes. So first goal is get 1,000 subscribers, get monetized on YouTube. And this is why I don't work with anyone who doesn't get that. That's my qualifier. I do not work with people who at least haven't done that, because there's not a guarantee that they're passionate enough, consistent enough, and skilled enough to justify me taking their money. So, and they don't have a way to make the money back if they're not monetized most of the time, unless they have a business. That's my exception. You already have a business. So for the people who like have the ability to get monetized, that's the first big goal. The next one is getting 10,000 subscribers. So first thing is you need perspective that going big on YouTube actually is just getting 10,000 subscribers, believe it or not. That's the first realistic.
Wow.
There's this distortion. There's like, okay, there's not even 1 million people that have silver play buttons like me and Steven. Steven has a gold now. There's only 30,000 people that have a gold play button like Steven. There's only 300,000 that have a silver play button like me. And there's only less than 100,000 that have 500,000 or more subscribers. The stats are staggering, but people think that a play button is making it because it's a trophy and an acknowledgement. Making it is 10,000 subscribers, and making it is if you ever make $1,000 on YouTube ever, because almost no one does.
Wow.
That's real truth. That's true.
That's true.
That's the first thing.
Dude. Yo, Digital Solutions Media, quick little 5-bomb for you. Keep pushing, and I'm loving the content lately. Thanks, baby. Love you. Yo, Urain is saying PewDiePie, just talking about pivoting topics, I guess. Urain is saying PewDiePie pivots all day. PewDiePie seems to just do whatever makes him laugh. So
now,
yeah.
Now, that's not how he started. You want to know the origin story of PewDiePie?
Tell us. That's
PewDiePie made 100 videos, and like, how many subscribers do you think he got out of 100 videos?
Oh, like it's going to be something crazy, like 500 or something.
He got 2,500. Mr. Beast got 760. Marquez, MKBHD, dude, has 15 million right now. I think he's the biggest black YouTuber there is. Maybe KSI is actually. KSI is bigger, I think. But as far as black YouTubers, they're like in the top 10.
The biggest.
Like they're in the top 10, but they're the top 10. Him and MKBHD are like top 10 for sure. But like 15 million subscribers. Marquez did 100 videos. He got like 78 subscribers to make 100 videos. Wow. PewDiePie started over a decade ago. PewDiePie got only 2,500 subscribers. He's made over 4,000 videos right now. So like his first 100 videos are like did not even produce 0.01% of his overall success, and that's 100 videos in.
Wow, this is getting like real inspirational.
Same thing with Mr. Beast.
Yeah. And
again, Marquez, he's done like 1,000 videos. He got 78 subscribers. He has 15 million now. He's done 1,000 videos. So like the first 10% of his career produced less than 1% of his overall success, not even 0.1% of his overall success. So like YouTube is a game of response and scale, and you front load effort, and it sucks when you start. It's everyone sucks at the beginning. Just like a career in sports, you suck the first season you ever play, you suck. You know, it is what it is. You pick up a musical instrument, you suck. You're not going to be first violin. You suck. You know, you start drawing, it's scribbles.
No.
So
dude,
like
the basics.
It's fundamentals. It's fundamentals, but it's also improving on that. It's also improving on that. I use the 1 out of 5 rating. I use the 1 out of 5 rating with creators, right? So I'm like, when you first start, your thumbnails will be like a 1 or a 2. They suck. But if you can get your thumbnails to where they start being a 3, you're decent. You're gonna start getting more views. You suck at if you've never done copywriting, you know this. You deal with writers all the time. You deal with writers' rooms all the time. People suck. The first draft, even for a seasoned writer, their first draft is trash. It's like a 2 out of 5. They have to go back, they have to polish it, they have to get feedback, and then they can get it passable, and that's like a 3 or a 4. But everyone comes out swinging and thinks they have a 4 or a 5, or that they're a 3 when they start, and they're not. Everyone comes out thinking like, so you have to realistically, you have to go back to fundamentals and say, it's okay to suck. It's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to not have fancy camera gear. It's not like you're a 1 or a 2 at the beginning. If you're talented, you start at a 3, if you're really talented. But even if you're talented, you could still be talented and still swing and miss and get a 1. Like you can. It happens all the time. Big YouTubers have flops. So like PewDiePie started out modest as hell.
Big YouTubers fall. They
fall all the time.
Issues and they go crazy and they fall, dude.
So they get to performance issues and they get performance anxiety to where they can't knock it out of the park anymore. And they keep chasing that 5, but they're not doing things to make themselves healthy enough to perform at that
Being
level.
An artist, some things don't change. Like this, all the stuff we're talking about here, it's all the same shit that comics go through, all the same shit that writers go through. Like artists, it is like a tough grind. Digital Solutions Media says, YouTube is an incredible platform. I have an influencer who has 250K in less than 3 months using my strategy. I I'd love to talk to you guys one day and talk some strategies.
That
Yeah,
could be
dude.
interesting.
That would be interesting. DM me on Instagram. I think. Hold on. I think it'll show my Instagram if I take this off. No, DM me on Instagram. I'm pretty sure Digital Solutions Media is on Instagram as well. And that's interesting. I mean, that's the thing, man. The fortunes could just go up and down on YouTube too at any time.
Well, it depends, but it's also a matter of
bank
what.
on that.
Yeah, no. Well, you should. Well, you bank on the fundamentals, but you also hedge your bets, because here's the thing. Like, take KSI. He's wildly diversified his career. He used YouTube as a stepping stone. He used to MKBHD. MKBHD. If YouTube went away, he would be the #1 ad agency for the tech niche.
Wow.
Apple would get him to produce all their ads. Samsung would get him to make all their ads, because he shoots on these 8K Epic Red cameras. He put himself in that position. Wow. He put himself in the position because he invested all of his YouTube money when he was in college. He invested all of his YouTube money back into his channel and into his production.
Amazing.
That was the smart thing. He took, bless you, he took all of his side hustle money from being in college. Yeah. And by the way, if he didn't have scholarships, his YouTube career from high school would have been able to fund all of his college education. So that's smart. Yeah, that's smart about starting young. He started at 14. So that, and then like, he didn't blow up, but he had some money.
What's his name? MK2KB?
MKBHD. MKBHD, as in Marquez Keith Brownlee, and then HD. So Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD.
Oh, this guy's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed him. He's great. Marquez is wonderful. He's a true inspiration.
What a sweetheart.
And he's only 28 years old. He's only 28 years old. And look at all he's accomplished. And look at all he's accomplished.
So
yeah.
good.
And the thing is, and he's inspired so many young people to get into tech, older people, and he's and the tech niche in YouTube has never been the same. And he set the gold standard. And
what an inspiration! 15.8 million. The guy is.
But his first videos, dude, were like in a like poorly lit webcam, and it was him. He got to interview Google CEO Sundar Pichai. He had one of the last interviews with Kobe Bryant.
Obama,
yeah.
Obama.
He got the GOAT. He got Kobe. He got the GOAT. Bill Gates,
Will Smith,
Mark Zuckerberg. So he went from a kid in his dining room doing a review of a mouse, Elon Musk, of like a mouse in his living room, in his parents' dining room at 14, to being this. 10 years, baby.
What's this retro tech series? I've never seen retro tech.
YouTube backed a series of him doing retro tech. YouTube did a YouTube Red original series with him talking about all this interesting old school tech, or what people thought the future would be like.
Yeah, and people thought that we'd have flying cars right now, dude. Everyone thought we'd
and YouTube backed at least 2 seasons of it. I think there might be a 3rd season. Yeah, YouTube personally backed that initiative.
Well, it looks like more of a TV show that you'd have. Like,
they backed the production. They backed the production for that.
We're not even that creative that we have so many fake ideas that we thought were going to come true. Star Trek had 1 million. Star Trek had
my god, yes.
The simulators, the thing.
Or Isaac Asimov Foundation, Isaac Asimov.
Amazing. He invented modern robot lore.
AI, all of it. And so much in automation, all of it. All science fact is based on his science fiction, him and Jules Verne.
No, they killed it, man. They did such a good job.
So yeah, when you look at things like that, so it's interesting. And then I believe that the generation of content creators, people like KSI, Marquez Brownlee, PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, I believe that they are leading the way in creators and creative people having what startup culture had in coders. To go back to the person who wants to make it as a dev in YouTube, the person who wants to make it as a dev in YouTube is like, pick a goal. Are you making this for other developers, or are you trying to represent that development is like a career? Or so you're doing career advice for developers, or are you teaching people how to code? Because there's a difference. And you could also do both. You could say, you could do a series that is career advice of getting your first job. It's like, because that's what qualifies you. Like when I started, I did a couple of things. I taught people Photoshop, Premiere Pro video editing, and photography basics, and Lightroom editing. I did all these tutorials. I was a tutorial channel, but I also pivoted and said, I'm going to also teach you how to get your first career if you want a career, or a freelance gig if you want to make money on the side with this, or if you want to get a portfolio to get a career. Because I didn't graduate from college. I used a portfolio to get a career. To build a portfolio, you take on clients. So my clients got me the job at the company because I had the portfolio and body of work. So, and then when I wanted to leave, I had the portfolio and the body of work as well as a resume, and then I could go on my own. And then the rest, as they say, is history. So like, that's what I was saying
that less people have jobs and more people have like contract too. It's going to be a big contract generation, I think.
Okay. So Neil says he wants to build apps for creators. What I would do then, what I would consider is, if you want to build apps for creators, then there's a couple of routes you could do. you could do the build in public thing, which is very popular right now. The risk of build in public a little bit is people stealing ideas and things of that nature. But you could do build in public. You could do vlog-like content around being a developer and a tech person, someone who loves that. And then if you have an interesting enough lifestyle, if that profile pic is legit, you have an interesting enough lifestyle, if that's your thing. But like, because
Europe.
If you're in Europe, there could be a lot of interesting things culturally where if you vlog being a developer and building a software company from scratch that focuses on creators, you like, I'm a developer, I'm an independent, I'm going to build my own apps, I'm going to build things for creators, I'm going to build things that you guys as creators or people in the creative world want to see and want. And so that could be a niche. Now it'll be small going at first because you also are showing off like what it's like, which could be interesting of like, I'm a developer, I work from my laptop. So I think I would, if I was you, and this is just me, this is what I'd do. I'd be vlogging kind of a laptop lifestyle, but not an unrealistic one. It would be realistic. I'd get a friend to film me so that I have that voyeuristic kind of thing going on. Instead of going Casey Neistat all the time and just vlogging by myself, I'd have a friend film me. I would wireless lab myself up and I would like do work out of coffee shops. I would have cool time lapses. I would show off that European vibe.
Gary V shit, you know?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of Gary V, a little bit of Casey Neistat, a little bit of Gary V, a little bit of Casey Neistat. But you're doing it as I'm building in public. Like when Casey was building Beam, it's a build in public type thing of like, but you're on your own.
What happened to Beam? Did that become a big company?
It got acquired by CNN. CNN.
That's great.
They paid him.
Yeah, I remember that.
It flopped after that because CNN flops things like CNN Plus. It couldn't get 10,000 people. Yeah. But Casey and the investors won because they sold it for 25 mil.
Yeah, dude, you get out with money. Yeah, that's fine.
Exit with money. Like exit with money.
Just, that's what you
take
want.
your profits, just like the crypto people should. Like,
he's almost too smart not to fail at something. Like he's too smart. He's too.
I would love that fail. I would love that failure of my greatest failure in life is my app flopped and I made $25 million. Yeah, sign me up for that failure.
Dude.
Sign me up for that failure.
Sign it up, dude.
So it's like
killing it. What does he do now?
Casey
as a creator?
Casey Neistat is still making videos, but he's focusing a little bit more on dad life. He's less inspired to make videos because they moved out of New York and he loved New York. So they're in California, though, to be close to Candace's parents so that the girls can know their grandparents.
Wow, that's great.
But
what a great guy.
So like he's calmed down because he's much more family oriented as he's gotten much older and as his kids are now old enough to have memories. He wants to do things differently than he did with his son Owen. He wants to do it differently now. Him and Candace, want the grandparents involved in their kids' life. New York to California is a big trek, so they decided as a family that was their decision. But it also affected him making videos and making films, and so because again, for him, New York was the co-star of his videos. So
yeah. Like, I was just watching a great writing thing where they say that you have to treat your locations like a character.
Exactly.
Be interacting and speaking to your main.
That's my thing with Neil is like show us Europe and do a little bit of because now you're a developer and you're a coder, but what's that like? And what's being in Europe like? And what's doing that look like? And what's building in public and building an app company? Because we've never seen.
Basically, you got to be a Dan Bilzerian. You got to go to Europe and get these Swedish girls out, party.
I'm not familiar with him.
And then be
I know CoffeeZilla and you have talked about him, but I'm not really familiar with him. Yeah, no.
Oh, so Bilzerian, what he did was he's a big flop now. I think a lot of it turned out to be a scam and like just taking his dad's money, whatever. But what he did was he has a very interesting career that you'd like he was selling a weed company, but to build his social media presence, he just got all these girls to come party with him on yachts, on beaches, on like just beautiful locations. He'd have guns, he'd have snakes, just made nonstop wild Instagram.
It's not my style.
Linked to his like selling his weed.
It's not my style. Was the cannabis company was the cannabis company legit?
No,
because I'm in support. Because by the way, I'm in support of cannabis companies. Don't get me wrong.
No, he went bankrupt. He totally.
Oh, really?
He's a total rich kid.
What happened?
He's crazy. He was like he might have been a bit of a con artist. I think Spencer Cornelia has like 4 videos on him. He did like a lot of the typical like a rich kid. Like
how does a cannabis company fail unless it's regulation? How's a cannabis company? I'm genuinely curious. I'm genuinely asking.
So what they were saying was that Bilzerian spent like just all this money on marketing. So all these people to come out the boat, like all that, it wasn't actually creating the hype that he was saying.
So it was mismanagement of it was mismanagement of funds, and it was management. Because like I believe in cannabis companies. Like I believe regulations and legislation should be favorable to having that. I think it'll stimulate the economy. I think it'll help a lot of people's health physically and mentally. And so it's a shame that honestly, probably the most prominent example. Yeah, it's a shame that the most prominent example of that is a fraud. It's a shame because I think it hurts the cannabis industry.
It's really sad, dude. But I mean, the guy had Instagram like bangers, dude.
But yeah, this I don't think. Yeah, no girls, no models. I think it's like it's the relatable vlog thing of building in public. It's the wonderful backdrop of Europe. I think you do the wonderful backdrop of Europe. I think that you build in public, you do these European coffee shops, you do something instead of building on the beach, you do outside, a park outside, because there's these cool parks and stuff like that. There's stuff in the background. There's people playing chess. There's all these cool things. You do some time lapses, Casey Neistat style, but you make it all classy. Work. You do a classy, like I'm literally outside building these apps and coding in public, and you talk about what the struggles of being a startup you do, and you get permission to film a meeting with trying to get funding out of like getting some money out of a VC. You get permission to film some of it, what to keep, what to cut. So people, behind the scenes, that's cool. That's like, again, like a Gary Vee type thing or a Casey Neistat thing. You maybe like get creators in real life to test out the prototype of your app, and you get to see real reactions from real people, and you get European creators maybe to take meetings with you, and you film all that. So I think we saw a vlog of building in public, of what it's like to be a developer, and also you in public asking creators what their problems are and like doing stuff around that. Or if you can even connect with some creators over in Europe, like maybe the Sidemen or something like that, if there's a way to do that, if there's a way to legit do that, or if it's not them, well, who's smaller than the Sidemen that has that vibe or has access? And so Neil,
you could be a Sideman. I wonder if they let people in. They do let people in, I think, right? Those Sidemen videos, they will let you do. Like,
maybe KSI wants a developer on his team for all we know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be sick? What if you sold your creator app company, your creator startup? What if you end up like, think about what about a video that's like, I sold my company to KSI.
Yeah,
I sold my app company to KSI. That's a title. Everyone clicks on that. That's a title, right?
Dude, Logan Paul's doing it with their drink company.
With the Prime, the Prime. That's a brilliant. That's God. I always thought the Paul should have went to sports marketing like from the beginning. To be honest, I think they should have skipped over the prank phase and went to sports. Sports is universal. You get to be a douchebag. It's like you get to
be a douchebag. It's
made for them. Well, we give forgiveness to athletes. We will always give forgiveness to athletes in a way we will never give. The people. It's so funny. We will let athletes.
Rappers, you can.
We'll let facts. We'll let rappers and athletes.
Like a hard industry, hard life.
No, it's because we respect the physicality and we respect aggression and we respect viciousness, and we'll reward, because it's the same thing as you will get a pass if you're a CEO, even if you're a scumbag. If you're 6 feet tall, have the jawline of like a Grant jawline, and if you're jacked, because men will respect you and will be intimidated and will feel like you've earned your conquest. Women will desire you. You can get away with more if you're a 6 foot tall, jacked diesel dude, and you're not super, super old, or if you are, but you're still fit as hell and you've got a jawline. You will get away with more than somebody that's a lanky loser who did a mild offense compared to you.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, the best thing is just be a like the people who are just straight up don't give a fuck psychos. Really, nobody has the balls to stand up to them either.
But a lot of them, but also
I think Fauci's like that secretly behind the scenes. I think he's an aggressive guy that people just can't stand up to him, and he just gets whatever the hell he wants. Same thing with these.
Go look up young Fauci.
Oh yeah.
Go look at how he looked when he was young.
Let's see it. Young Fauci. Yeah, he looked. I remember he was working on the AIDS crisis back then. Let's see young Fauci. Young Fauci. No, young Fauci. Fauci. This one? Oh, this one. That's nice. I like that.
Look at like if he takes off the glasses, and it's like, and he's taller than people think, I believe. Like,
oh yeah, he's like a 6'3". Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
If you take off the glasses, and even with them, it's like, again, it's like but now
Dude,
he's
Donald
aged,
Trump,
obviously.
Donald Trump too. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Can't cancel him. 6'3" white guy. Not white, but like 6'3" guy. Good dude. He used to be a sexy dude.
Well,
too.
he used to be
Back in the
athletic.
day.
He used to be he was an athlete, and he went to military school. Like
Who,
people
Trump?
don't. Yeah.
Or Fauci. Yeah. Trump.
Trump.
Dude, Trump, young days was sexy, dude. He was back in the day like he
Yeah,
was a
Trump.
playboy.
He was getting models for a reason. It wasn't just his money. It wasn't just his money. He was young. He was aggressive. He had a full head of hair. He was tall. He's tall. Look at that. He dresses the same.
6'3", dude.
Yeah, it's like there is a distinct advantage. There's a distinct advantage to that psychologically that we as humans look at that. That's a guy who's gonna. That's a winner. That's a winner. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like. Look, he's from Queens. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have to like. I don't like him by default, right? I like. So,
Dude,
so don't
he's
sit
in
here.
charge of, like,
Don't sit
he's
here
the
saying,
richest
"Oh,
man.
I'm a." Yeah, don't sit here saying, "Oh, I'm a Trump supporter." He's from Queens. I can't support him.
Yeah. You're not allowed. You're not allowed.
I'm not allowed. It's Brooklyn, Queens. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, look at
Like,
that, dude. How old is
But
this
look at
girl?
that. Yeah, it's like so. How do you it's really hard to compete with that. It's very hard. It's not impossible, but it's really hard.
Dude, if you have that and you don't give a fuck, dude, you do.
If you have that and you're a psychopath, if you have that,
Nobody
you have a
can stand up
tremendous
to you.
work ethic. Because by the way, shout out, psychopaths have a tremendous work ethic.
Dude,
They have
you can't
laser
compete.
focus.
Dude, the cult leaders, every cult leader, I'm just like, I am shocked at how much work they're getting done. They have a whole course. They have a whole, like, the courses are dense.
If they could be harnessed for something positive, could you imagine? Could you just imagine? Could we get Fauci boxed?
I know.
Who do you put in the ring with Fauci? Who do you put in the ring with
Oh,
Fauci?
it's got to be someone right wing, someone anti-vax. Oh,
It's got to be someone. No, it's got to be someone old.
Rand Paul.
Ooh, yes. Put
Fucking
the yes,
do it,
yes,
bro.
yes.
That would be good. Or
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Do you imagine? Imagine all of our politics are solved by trial by combat.
I know, right?
Trial by
that's
combat.
the wild thing that basically the king of YouTube, KSI.
Yes, actually, all
does
beef.
it.
But here's the thing. You know what happens?
Also,
when
great
two
guy,
dudes,
great guy.
but also great. He is great. He's great. But think about it. Actually, what we've seen coming out of YouTube boxing is if people have legitimate beef and drama, after a couple swings, after a couple of rounds, people respect each other because that's how dudes are. That's how we are.
That's
how we are.
Right?
It's like, you know what? We can all get past our issues if you just let people scrap. Like if you just let people scrap in a controlled environment. If
you just go in there and you're like, I don't want to, you won't be respected. They'll be like,
I think you get all the culture war people. You round them up. You round them up all the culture war people, and you throw them all into a tournament. You literally have them go Tenkaichi Budokai. It's like you all let them scrap. You just let them fight. You just let them fight, and the culture wars are over. Because they'll all just be done with it. They'll get it out of their system. No civil war. We can avoid civil war if you literally just throw all these people into the arena.
See,
you just let them trap.
You want to fight? I'm because I'm more of a lover. I think we should make an app called Extremist Tinder, and it just matches up people on the extreme sides of things.
I think you gotta let them process it out, dude. I think you gotta let them get it out of their system. We're human beings. We're savages. That's why we are human.
With sex, you know what I mean?
Eventually, well, I mean, they do that. Well, then they'll be more open to the love after they've worked out their aggression.
They have to work out you know what it is? It's gonna be a couple of swings like, I hate you, I love you, god damn it.
They'll probably get to that place. But the thing is the rest of us normal ass people, we will have peace and entertainment. We'll have peace and popcorn. Have peace and popcorn.
Yeah,
you let them sort it out.
They do. The people on the extremes, they're just mad. And they're just looking for things to get mad about, but they're just mad. And sometimes they're right. A lot of times they're wrong. But they're upset, and they need to get into some kind of aggression. Like they need to fight because they're doing it in politics.
But you know what used to happen back in the day? Because people had to work so hard. They worked out their aggression physically through their work a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And not just their work out in the world, but also back at home. Now it's very convenient to it's not easy, but it's convenient. We have so many modern conveniences that make housework less draining because back then men and women did housework. They had to because there were things that physically women were not capable of doing because we didn't have all these tools. We didn't have all these
India,
tools.
the women had to do 2 hours a day laundry every day. They didn't have enough clothes. Fuck.
Yeah. And then all the home repair, all the heavy lifting, men have to definitely do things like that. Like these technology and conveniences, they did make us productive, but they made us also productively lazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we also have all this excess energy and no proper aggressive channel for any of it. So then we then fight on these emotional and cultural wars and
I like
issues.
that,
There's
dude.
like, so
Have
like,
you ever
yeah.
seen have you ever seen, dude, I love Barstool Sports too. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
been watching
yeah.
it, but dude, his come up videos are so inspirational. They're so cool. But they have some boxing tournament. It looks amazing. Have you seen it?
I think that's gonna be dope. I also like that KSI is building his own boxing organization, and it's
That's
gonna
so
make sure
sick. I didn't even know about that.
and it's gonna make people get paid fairly. That's the big thing. His thing is
Oh,
about
that's
like
amazing.
you're gonna get paid.
Okay.
We're gonna take care of you.
Barstool, they get like brothers to fight. It's
Ooh.
so kooky, dude. They'll get two brothers to fight. It's so silly. And then they do. You haven't seen it. I gotta send you the clips.
I gotta
It's
see that at
it's
some
so
point. I gotta
funny.
see that at some point. But dude,
Barstool fight. Yeah, but dude, I gotta run soon, man. But
yeah. So if Skillshare versus YouTube, I would say do both.
Right.
And you can parallel both. I would say Skillshare, you can do straight up things teaching people development and coding, and then you can make bank being an educator with micro courses on Skillshare around your actual skills that you built a career in. And so you do that and you make money on that end. You can get people who want to learn more about coding from YouTube to get your affiliate link to Skillshare, get a 2-week free trial. And the thing is, you say, hey, if you use my free trial, you're not paying for my Skillshare course. Leave me a review, an honest review. Tell me what you think, leave a rating and everything like that, and support me that way for $0. So now you're making coding accessible to people through your Skillshare course, because they're getting a free trial of premium and they can learn anything they want for 2 weeks, including your thing. And so that's cool. And then people will see the reviews on Skillshare Premium they're already paying, and then you'll make bank because your thing will be elevated in the Skillshare algorithm. So you use the YouTube algorithm to fuel the Skillshare algorithm and the recruitment there, and you use YouTube to do your vlog, like build in public content, get hype around your app, network with creators. You use it for networking and that, but you also get to monetize with a little bit of ad money once you get monetized. So you can have it both ways. And I don't think that's too much to do if you're strategic. If you're strategic and you're doing these vlogs like once a week, you don't do daily like Casey, you do these once a week, polished, very nice, authentic vlog type things, have someone film you with a camera in public. And then you do at home, you do in the office at home or in the room, you do the Skillshare thing, and you're making development courses and entry-level courses to development and building out your curriculum around that. Then you're making money on both ends. You're also funneling and feeding each other. It's great.
That's sick, dude. Yeah, no, it is tough. Be careful with the multiple platforms. You almost got to
but I narrow it down to those.
Myself. It's like focus on YouTube. There's enough people here. Then I start going to Instagram and I start going to TikTok. Like someone almost convinced me to start doing TikTok the other day. And I'm like there's people here. I guess
not unless you're duplicating the effort of making Instagram reels to TikTok, then you're not really doing anything. Because then you could literally do that from the toilet, dude. You could do that from the toilet. So it's not.
Right. The
monetize
short reactions.
No, I'm saying you can upload them. I'm saying all the upload.
Yeah.
I'm saying
that we do. That I do.
I'm saying you can upload them when you're on the toilet, not make them when you're on the toilet. That's a bad idea. That's a good way to get kicked.
Yeah, no, that's inappropriate.
But
the some kind of comedy video. But yeah, no, you can't.
No, that's you'll get demonetized.
That's
so the thing that we avoid demonetization in this house. We'd avoid as best as we can.
We avoid it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but
100%.
but the thing you can do is you can, and I think you have to. All right, so being a content creator, it's a lifestyle choice, dude. It's a lifestyle choice. So you have to figure out what works for you, what you have energy and time to do, and you have to live your lifestyle around it. Like for me, Saturdays and Sundays are not days off. They're free days. So that if I want to do something like this with you, I'm like, well, today I don't have anything on the schedule, so I can do it. Because nothing's on the schedule.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. No, absolutely. I love it. So I can do as much work on Saturday and Sunday as I want to, or I can chill with friends, or I can do something that's technically work, but not. And that's what I like my Saturdays and Sundays to be at this time, because I'm not out there clubbing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out there clubbing. So I'd rather and if I wasn't doing this with you, you know what I'd be doing? Because it's me, my creative outlet is taking my fancy cameras and lenses and shooting. You see my wildlife stuff. I go to Zoo Atlanta, which is 45 minutes away, and I go and I shoot photo and video of exotic wildlife at Zoo Atlanta.
I have not seen that. I got to start doing that with my sister.
If you want to see that, so go to my prints. Go into YouTube. Go to createawesomethings.com. I built a Shopify store with my photography prints. Createawesomethings.com. Okay. People don't have to buy this. I just want you to see my photography. Yeah. So look at this. These are my shots. These are my shots, and people can buy these as canvases and prints. But look at my shots. Look at my collection. Oh
yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's what I go and that's what I shoot. That's what I'm passionate about. But guess what I did? I said I'm passionate about, and I do landscapes. This is from Glacier National Park. And that's how Shopify, I gotta fix that one. Shopify. Oh no, that's actually correct because it shows you how it looks in real life in your office.
Yeah.
Like, so I do, and these are canvases.
Oh, I thought you took this picture of an office too.
No. This
Shopify.
They do that. Yeah.
Like,
so the poster prints are cheaper. Canvases are obviously thicker, so they cost more and they're high quality. So like but I decided, okay, I'm not about just monetizing my photography, but I will let people who want to support it buy prints of my photography if they want to. And so I gave them options, but I don't take these things to make money. I take these things because I like taking them. But I'm like, okay, but I can put it out there and I can share this stuff, you know? And it's like, and for me, I'm like, okay, having somewhere that I can put it and letting people do what they want in terms of supporting it is fine. But I like taking these things, and I have these hanging up in my house. Like, so when people come to the house and they go, oh my God, that's such a great print, or where'd you get that or whatever? It's like, oh, that's mine. I shot that. And they go, oh my God. And people like who come to the house gush over my photography, and that feels good. And for me, I like that better than I like that people can gush over my photography when they come to my house, or they can buy my prints in my store. I like that more than if I posted it to Instagram, to be honest.
Yeah, dude.
So like, I'd rather, that's how if I'm going to do art, I'd rather do it.
You're doing it like a grown ass man. This is sexy. Dude.
Yeah.
This is hot. This is like something that, like someone can come over and be like, yes, I took all these photos. And they're like,
yeah, but that's also, I wanted the skill level. I wanted to have the skill level to do this too. That's my thing. My lifelong dream.
Where did you learn to do photography?
So I learned a bit of it from my uncles growing up on both sides of my family. And my mom and dad, they did it as a hobby, but they never got to ever be a full-time artist. They all had my family had all this creative talent, but no one ever monetized it before me. Like,
damn, dude, that's great.
And so I learned a bit from them, but then I also learned when I was in community college for graphic design and advertising, I took every single photography elective. I took every single photography class they had. This was back when you did it in the dark room though, and you developed film and all those cancer causing chemicals. I was the last person to do that, by the way, before they shut it all down. But thank God for the lack of cancer. So
those things cause cancer. I didn't even know that.
Those chemicals, breathing in those chemicals, lung cancer.
Oh, come on. That whole photography art is gone now. Then no one can do it.
Well, it's all digital now, which is healthier and it's cheaper and it's more monetizable for
and people used to have like a red room in their apartment, and then you go.
I was planning to do that actually when they were selling everything. I was like, I'm gonna hustle and I'm gonna buy all this stuff, but I was like, I don't think I can safely store these chemicals, and I think it'll burn down the house. Because I was gonna do it in the garage, but I was like, this has got to be I was like, it's not safe, because they were selling everything so cheap, dude, because again, it all got shut down. And also the government was like, it's not safe to do this and it's cheaper to go digital. And so they got some funding for going digital because it's community college. They did some sick stuff at my community college because they got government funding, because we were also by a military base. So then they would train the military in certain things for their career, for their MOSs. My dad was a Marine, by the way. So like, shout out to everybody in uniform. Baby. Shout out to anyone. Thank you for your service. Anyone in uniform watching.
Thank you for your service. If you're fighting, man, dude.
But yeah, dude. So like, I was taught by my family, but I was informally taught. None of them had formal training. But that's where I learned a little bit of creativity, composition, and some basics. Then I learned.
I go to the dog park because I got to take my sisters to the dog park anyway. Yeah. I actually got to go soon. I got to take the dog. But like, I take the dog to the dog park and I do photography at the dog park, dude. It's all hot. So many hot girls. A lot of parents, but the dogs, they're so cute. They're so adorable. They love it. They'd be like, oh my God, can you send it to me?
Yes. That's a really good, actually, that's perfect, dude. That's perfect for you. That's brilliant. No, that is,
why not?
That is brilliant.
Just with the slightly professional looking camera, you're just like, let me
you start out, you go and everything, and it's like, oh my God, your dog is gorgeous, or your dog is so cute and everything. It's like, do you mind if it's like, you have the real camera. It's like, do you mind if I take a photo of your dog? It's just like, and then legitimately, and then you start a conversation. It's a good cold open. It's great.
Oh, dude, you at the dog park, you don't need a cold open, dude. They are just chatty, chat. Oh,
fair,
but mine does this.
Fair,
dude, your dad,
fair, but how is anyone going to compete with you with a camera, though? But how is anyone going to
compete with the camera? And then you know what that is? What you're saying? It's actually the perfect Instagram transition. It's like the fairest, easiest.
Oh, get me your Instagram so I can send you the photo.
I'll tag you in it. I'll take you. I'm gonna upload this on Instagram. Is that cool? Yeah.
You can even ask if the dog has an Instagram, and you should definitely give them an Instagram. Here, I'm gonna send you the photos and everything. You got it. Like, let me tag you, and you guys start this Instagram.
Tag your baby.
And then you have their contact, and that's that.
Dude, it's just
Best-
so hot. I love the
best in the
dog
world.
park, and the dogs are so cute. It's like a little wonderland.
The
Dude, they
dogs
go in and
are.
they're like,
I have so before my
crazy.
dogs passed away, and I'm actually getting wood carved up prints because both of my dogs passed away.
Cute.
Yeah, that's it
Sorry,
sucked.
I'm
It
sorry
was
to hear
like
that.
cancer.
They have
Yeah.
the dogs have cancer now. Oh my
Cancer?
god, dude.
Cancer. We think it was runoff water from the old house that I moved when I was renting. We think because they were also outside a lot. We think that runoff from like the air conditioned water runoff from like the air conditioning unit. We think that because there was one of the reasons we moved was that there's a massive HVAC issue at my old place was one of the reasons I bought a house. So I bought a house instead of renting because also I couldn't. The landlord had a unit, AC unit that was discontinued 10 years ago and had a recall. So we think we think in addition to anything that might have been doing to us, thank God nothing, but like we think the water runoff caused the tumors in the dogs and killed the dogs. So that's sad. But here's the thing. I took so many photos of my dogs. One, I have so much video of my dogs, but I also took so many photos of my dog with these professional lenses that I have some like really great shots of them living their best life when they were alive. And so they can be memorialized by me having these really high quality prints at the house of these dogs that are no longer with us. So it's like, so I have these wonderful shots commemorating their life.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you one right now. You're going to love it.
Okay. Let's see it.
This is my sister's baby.
But yeah, my parents taught me, and then
right.
community. Don't worry about it then. Like you show me on the back end later, but like,
yeah.
I learned from my parents to get interested in it and learned I really loved it, was passionate about it, did a little bit of it in school, and then mostly self-taught. Then also YouTube videos from. Oh, that's adorable.
That's
oh
the
my
dog.
God. What kind of dog is that? That's so cute. That's cute.
That's a Bernedoodle. And then look at this is like a mess he made on the window. It's just all him going crazy on the window, dude. It's
slobbering for the fire hydrant. Yeah.
Slobbering, dude. Going crazy. Yeah, no, he wasn't even looking at the fire. He's just honestly, just you put him in the car, he's just like
dogs are so happy. Like if I had to come back, if I came back as something other than a human, I come back as a dog. They just live their best life.
That's a cutie little baby.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What a cutie baby, dude.
That's
I forget how cute and adorable he is. I gotta go get him. I feel bad that he's alone right now. He's alone at my
yeah, you gotta do that. But yeah, but I mean,
But today for sure, I'm gonna put these on my Instagram at Fade to Brown. There's so many clips I got from the dog park. It was adorable, dude. I was like, this is a freaking gold mine. Why am I not here?
Oh, facts, dude. Facts. And it's like, even as Prince, a dog like that, if you do it with a good camera, like Prince would do, canvas prints, poster prints. They would do very well of a dog like that. There's just, oh my God, it's gorgeous. Such a gorgeous dog.
Day, dude.
I love dogs like that. I love chows too. Chows are amazing. Chow dogs are amazing. And they're just gorgeous dogs. The thing is, I somewhat like parents taught me informally. So I learned from people who didn't have a professional background, did some community college, learned the basics, which now, by the way, everything I learned about photography in community college, you could learn on YouTube for $0 for free.
Oh,
from me. By the way, I taught people that on YouTube for free too, back in the day. So
what's a good, you taught it, eh? Well,
I did too, but the best is Jared Polin. Jared Polin and Chelsea and Tony Northup. And I like Tom Colton. He's a small YouTuber. So I watch out a small YouTuber, Tom Colton. I think he has less than 20,000 subs. Damn. So he does, I think, some of the best camera lens reviews and tutorials and comparisons of focal lengths and budget and professional gear. He's great. He's mostly a Sony shooter like me. So there's a lot of these, like camera YouTube is lit, dude. Camera YouTube is lit. I actually have another channel I'm starting that's only about gear. It's called Creator Gear Guide. And all it's going to be, I started it, but then the pandemic happened. But now I'm going to do that like maybe once a week this summer. Cause now that I got all my extra gear back, I'm like, I can go ahead and I can roll that out. Sick. And I'm going to review like every lens that I own. I'm going to do a review of every lens I own, just like back in the old days, and every camera that I own, but also how to set them up, how to use them, what the camera settings are. On my main channel, I'm going to do a YouTube short eventually that teaches people in 60 seconds what settings they need to put in their camera to be a YouTuber.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because that fastest
Dude,
reference.
I'm just getting a good camera setting today. I've had bad like, and because I didn't just do the camera properly. But dude, I think dog park reviews, that could be some hot shit.
There could be some, like, if nothing else, as Instagram stuff, as Instagram content, dude. That'll kill it. That'll crush
dog
it.
park reviews, yeah.
Dog park. But like, dude, congrats to everything you're doing, and on the meditation stuff. I think meditation is underrated. I think it would help more people today with their mental health than anything. I think there's a discipline issue. I think between meditation, cold showers, working out, eating clean, and giving up your vices. Giving up, it's like
drinking.
You're like,
you can't. It's. I almost feel like you can't. I don't want to just
No, it's once in a while. Once in a while,
sure. But it is such an efficiency killer.
Well, you remember at the conference I only ever had. You remember at the conference I had like one drink a night, and that's basically it.
That's great.
Like other than that, I drink ginger ale. I go to these events and I don't like everyone gets sloshed, and I don't do that because I learned in my late 20s. I wish I'd learned this earlier, but I also was not letting my friends peer pressure me in my early 20s or before that into drinking a lot. And again, in Caribbean Latino culture, drinking is not a big deal, so we don't abuse it or nothing like that.
Oh right, yeah. I know a lot of Caribbean people who come to Canada. They're like, you guys are over drinking. Like, just chill.
Yeah, it's like, so like we, and we drink in moderation, and we drink for taste. We don't do that Everclear nonsense, So but my friends, they're like Americans, they're knocking it back. I'm like, no. And then I did get depressed in my mid 20s. And then there were like a handful of times that I got drunk. And then they were like, okay, we need you to go back to the old you and just be like a prude about it and like not do this. Like, cause then they didn't want to have to deal with like, it'd be one of two things.
They're like, someone's got to be responsible here, man. Come on, it's you.
Right. It's like, because the problem is, I would either be the life of a party and then take all the attention away from them and be wildly charismatic, or I would be a total dick to them. So like, I had two settings. I had like, you're
angry drunk, dude.
No, not angry. No, not angry. No, it's not angry. It was that my filter was gone.
Okay.
So then my criticism. So now it's my analysis and hypercriticism and honing in on their insecurities and not having a filter and ripping and tearing them down. It's not me. Like I said, that's why I said being a dick, not being angry. It was maybe there's passive aggressive is probably more, but it's like one of those, because again, they were picking on me in the friend group a little bit.
Right.
Like out of all the nerds, I was the nerdier nerd out of the nerds.
Right. So the alcohol,
and they were all taller, and they were all taller than me, by the way. They were all taller than me. But you know how it is with guys.
Not being tall.
You know how it is with guys. You know how it is with us.
Dude,
so like,
it's too easy advantage. That's why these short kings, they need someone to represent for them and be like,
well,
listen,
that's
ladies,
the thing.
Go for a short king. The
thing
shorter
is,
they are, the more they'll give you.
The thing is, without my
aggressive.
filter back then, before I was much more naturally confident from, like time and success and age and wisdom and humility will make you naturally confident.
Yeah.
But back then, if you put too much alcohol in me, they learned their lesson. They learned their lesson about giving me too much alcohol or getting me drunk. They learned their lesson because one of two things happens. I go into short king mode, and then I take all the female attention, or I go into little tyrant mode, or I go into little tyrant mode, Napoleon, and I rip them apart. And it's like, and neither one of those was a good time for them.
Good, man. Neither's
good.
Dude. It's,
me making me the designated driver or the designated adult. I'm only 5'8".
Okay, that's fine. It's enough. It's enough. It doesn't matter. It's great. Honestly, the standards are too high. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, 6 foot or nothing. It's like 6 foot, 6 figures, 6 abs. I'm like, well, I can only do 2 of those. Like,
yeah.
Like so.
I got to run, man. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Dude, anytime. I always love hanging with you.
So many good things to do. So many like things. I was gonna ask you like questions like, what should I do for my channel? But it just naturally comes out.
I'll tell you. I'll talk to you about it later, just like we did at the event. What event? What's like?
Fundamentals are key.
What's the next event you can go to? Actually, you know what? There's a thing in New York in September. It's in upstate New York because then it's easier for you from Canada. There's a thing, People of Video in upstate New York. Wow. You should come. Yeah, you should come. I'm speaking. Okay, you should come. Yeah.
That'd be sick, dude.
Yeah, it's in September, and you should. Yeah, it's like early September. You should come.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, no, let's do it. Early September. Yeah, no, by then I'll need another trip. I like the monthly trips. They've been great.
It's been good for me too.
Yeah, dude. But thanks for coming, and thanks everyone for watching. You are loved. Digital Marketing Solutions, $5. You're appreciated. Neil, Gavin,
Cher,
Lorraine, Susano, yeah.
Even you, Bolt.
Ultra Cinco, Bolt, Scott Schaefer. Listen, you are loved.
Raziel.
You play with your dog.
Gavia. Love all of you.
Drip Network. Drip Network is obviously selling some scam, but that's fine. Spicy Kirby, Tunips. Drip Network is 100% selling a crypto scam, right? Hi, bro. Is Drip Network is legit? Forex Shark is the dev. I don't know
Are you sure
what that
is
scam
Drip
is
Network?
even. I don't even know the scam language.
Drip Network might just be a meme. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what this even is, but I think it might be a meme because it looks like King Harambe. Is that what I?
Yeah,
is that King
something.
Harambe?
I do. It looks like some fake ass NFT art.
It looks like it looks like it's a meme. It looks like I'm guessing. I think it's a self-aware meme. Like I think
right.
I think it's a rip of the.
It's so hard to tell.
Like how when we wanted to
meme and what they're actually doing.
Like how
so ridiculous.
But sometimes it can be both, but not a scam. Because remember what we wanted to do with like when I told my friend about brown guy tokens, token brown guys, and that's like. Yeah, token brown guys. Like she loved it. It was hilarious. And then because like we're both black, we started thinking about all the token black people. Like we started thinking about in comedy and in shows and in movies, and we were like, oh, you got to make one of Carlton. You got to make one of like this one. You got to start thinking about all these like, and we were like, oh,
Dave Chappelle's done it. Dave Chappelle's rom-coms.
We just were thinking, Chappelle. Like we were just thinking about the caricature of the token black character. And how you could, and the thing is, commemorating it for the culture with a meme coin. It actually in our mind, like a meme coin type NFT. In our mind, for the culture, we're like, I would blow money on that the same way I blow money on like a hoodie. Like
it would
just
be a silly
for the meme, but it would be.
It would bring back black culture, and it would represent all those black actors who are only one part or a small part.
But people would think like, oh, well, this is a scam or this is a because it's what. But it's like, but in my mind, it's like this is not. In my mind, it would have been wholesome fun for the thing. That's why I think some of these things should not be taken seriously, and I think it's okay to spend money sometimes if you're not broke. If you're not broke, which broke people do it anyway, I think it's okay to spend your beer money on a meme.
Yeah,
because in the anime community, you know this, we'll spend our beer money. We'll buy a $50 Dragon Ball Z hat. We'll do it.
True.
We'll buy.
This is $10, by the way, but yeah,
but we'll do it. But the thing is,
I'll do it.
But I would pay 50.
50? Yeah, I think about it at 50. But I would. 10.
But I would.
So
I would like. Well, I would absolutely spend 80 on a quality Goku hoodie that had the Kami Sennin symbol and the like dripped out.
My jacket was like $30, $50. It was so cheap.
I'd absolutely spend 30, 60 on if it's on quality for that. Hell yeah, because I'm rocking it. I'm a DBZ fan. I'm rocking the culture. I'm repping for the culture. I will I will spend it. Because by the way, I gave the money to corporations back when I was stupid enough to buy like Echo and shit like that.
Yeah. You buy Jordans.
When I was buying Jordans or Nikes or whatever it is, like, and I rarely did it. But you have to a little bit because you get hooked up. You get
the Jordan is like an NFT built in. But if you thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk.
I'll buy the Vegeta Badman shirt. I will buy the Vegeta Badman shirt right now.
Oh, dude, that's so sick.
I will rock it. I'll rock it. Vegeta. If you rock the Vegeta, that is like you can pull off the pink. You can pull off the pink if it's Vegeta.
That's sick, dude. Yeah. No, that's a good one. All right, peace, everyone. You are loved. I gotta run, but I'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.